Okay, hey there everybody. Alright. So, yeah, I don't really know 100% what I'm going to be doing today. I wanted to do a whole bunch of stuff, but what I actually have got is I finally picked up Amnesia, the Bunker. I don't think that it's going to be long enough of a game for me to start it now and still have content for that for Halloween, which I'm gonna plan on. I'm gonna try and stream on, I think, Halloween night, because I think that's a Tuesday, and then I'll have like you know, the ability to play it on that sort of other day. But yeah, so I'm just gonna be playing some random stuff today. I'm not gonna be playing any of them like the whole way through, so I'm not sure what the other game's gonna be. But I'm going to change the volume on this a little bit here, but yeah, I want to play some Disco Elysium, I guess, because I want to start a new game of this. Let's see if I can find master volume here. This is a bit loud. Just going to chuck all of the volumes down to about here, and we'll see where we go from there. But yeah, I might play some Darktide later, I might play some League of Legends, I'm not too sure what I feel like doing. So I have beaten this game, but I actually missed a ton of content in my run, so I might actually just redo some of that, but I am going to try playing this on hardcore. So let's actually also add that. Alright, so we have to start off with our stats here. Going for exactly sort of what we had previously, I can go for something like this a little bit. I think that this works out kind of okay for what I was trying to do. Having decent intellect, I think, actually works out really well for what I like doing. On hardcore, we're going to be missing a lot more stuff, though, which I'm not going to be super happy about. Physique doesn't have the most important skills in it, and a lot of the time you can sort of work around that, but it does have your hit points in it, so it is kind of nice to have some of that. I find that motoristics, you've got some really tough skills that are in there that you want to have, and intellect and psych are the ones that give you the best sort of passive, with intellect giving you the best passive stuff overall. I wish you could get some more points, though, on a New Game Plus or something like that. That would be really great. I think that stuff up here are really good, and stuff over here are really good for having as your specialized skill, although perception would also be a good choice. Hand-eye coordination is also a really good choice, so stuff like that. You could also pick endurance. That would just make me tougher without me having to invest more into physique. Physical instrument comes up a decent amount. Pain threshold has like one important check, but like realistically, Shivers, Half-Light, these don't come up often enough for me to think that they're like things I want to really focus on, or at least they're not part of crucial checks that I really need to pass. I think what we're going to do here is just double down into this sort of stuff here, and we're going to go with Rhetoric. And that just makes this a little bit better. So I'm going to be skipping through the text for the first bit a little bit quickly, because like I said, I have beaten this. So this is you being unconscious and your brain trying to say that you should probably stay asleep.
No larger than a single grain of malt.
This is them talking about your pineal gland.
Ever, ever, baby.
I feel like the volume is still a little bit loud here, but
And an inordinate amount of time passes. It is utterly void of struggle. No ex-wives are contained within it. An awareness creeps up on you.
Not sure what your limbic system sounding like something means here. This is basically you realizing that you really feel like shit.
Ex-love. Ex-tenderness. It is foolish of you to resurface to the loss. Not after all the damage you've suffered.
I'm not sure that abyssopelagic is a real word, but whatever. I'm just going to continue going on here. I'm answering honestly here. I'm not the sort of person who believes in the staying in the experience machine. I'm one of the people who's like, no, I'm willing to face reality.
You wouldn't like it if I told you what was back there.
Fear and apprehension. You should ask what's
See, these are the things that are like kind of tricky to pass if you don't have the innate skills, but they're not always important.
Yes, your one disco mother. Somewhere like a fly to the ointment, your conscience sticks to it. The stench of liquor rises from your mouth, and with it, an ungodly head.
Okay, so the whole part here is actually kind of irrelevant. This just sort of tells you what sort of person you are a little bit, but it has no impact on the rest of the game.
A Caprice Canadian motor carriage.
You can hear a car in the distance, basically, is what it's saying. It's waking you up. Even though your pineal gland and your limbic system are telling you to stay asleep. Alright, so this is our main character here. This absolute shambolic wreck of a man. And, yeah, he's having a normal one, really. Alright. So, yeah. We can look around here, we can find some, like, stuff like this bottle here, which does nothing. Can find out that this tape recorder is, you know, completely trashed, and we can take the record out of it. Things there, rolling on empty. Can't get out the door yet, and we have to collect up our clothes. So we're going to go ahead and get our tie off of here. We can go ahead and just try and grab it right away, or we could turn off the fan, which makes it so that this is easier. We now have an 83% chance because we got that +3 from the fan being turned off, so we don't have to do that. Do this before you put on your clothes, other clothes.
You swoop up and catch the tie. What you have in your hand?
You can actually die doing that, which is really funny. Am I wearing that? Yes, okay. So after you've done that, you don't have to worry about the checks anymore, so we can take this pants. The pants gives us a negative on savoir-faire, which makes it harder to get our tie, which is really, really kind of funny, honestly. We can sort of shamble along like the hangover zombie that we are and just pick up the rest of our clothes. So we pick up our jacket. We don't have a shirt on. Shirt's over here. We destroyed the sink, so it's just constantly gushing hot water, racking up more of a bill, you know, all that sort of stuff. So we can put that on, and we can go ahead and just take a look in the mirror here.
The mirror hangs above hot water.
So this is actually difficult
no memory of the face that
to...
Really? Or recollection of the person you are, the people in your life, and even the world.
It's really actually hard to pass these checks.
In a sea of blood alcohol. This was no mere night of drinking. It was a deluge of world-ending proportions. As you slowly reach your hand towards the surface of the abort, you clearly have not thought this through. You won't like what you see there, and you will never unbecome it. Behold.
It's not actually that bad. It could be worse.
You have no idea who this thing is, do you?
This is the face of a late-stage alcoholic.
Too late. You clearly have rigor mortis on your face. Oh wait, is that an expression? Are you trying to make an expression with that face? Why?
I think your inner voices are being a little bit too hard on you here.
Please stop. It's horrible. You're scaring yourself. Oh my God. You can't stop. It's like it's not even voluntary anymore. You have worn that grin into your face and now it won't come off. What does it even mean? What is the emotion you're trying to convey?
I'm gonna go with this one.
You are correct.
So this is like the first early check that's actually like really kind of hard, and this one's actually like you need double sixes. If you can pass this one, you can actually get a pretty good thing, but you can come back and do this later. If they're white like this instead of orange, you can just redo it later. So we're just gonna try.
Like the rest of you.
Oh, we got double ones. Let's see if we can double sixes here.
It's too late.
No. Okay, so don't always do that because you sometimes take damage from trying, but, you know, it's sometimes better to try it than to not. Especially if we think that we're going to come back there and come in with a bonus and have it with that.
The window stands broken in it. The morning light hurts your eyes. It's the shards face outward. A fine web of scars.
So we chucked our shoe through the window, is what we're figuring out here.
None of it is more likely a projectile than a held object. It is too large for a bullet, yet too small for it. The single green shoe you found fits the hole almost as well. Congratulations. You smashed the window with your own shoe. Now the cool wind gushes.
Alright, so that's pretty much everything that we can do here. We can come back and look in the mirror later. Try and get a handle over on our expression. The encyclopedia check to get through that actually gives you a really good skill. So it is definitely worthwhile trying to get that done. I'm going to go ahead and pick this up here. One of the things that we're going to be doing is rushing a specific skill that we can get that's going to help out throughout the game. So I'm not going to be clicking on a bunch of stuff early on, like this stuff. Let's go grab our shoe. See, these things basically can become experience points if you've got Je me vu, a skill that you can pick up by talking to one of the NPCs. So we're going to do that before we really do much of the other stuff that we would sort of do. So we can ignore this. We can basically talk to her if we want to.
Officer.
It's a mistake to talk to her, so we're just not going to bother. You don't really learn anything too impressive, and you get some penalties later on down the line, pretty much no matter what you say to her. So at this point in time, like, we got some options here, but not very many. So again, we're avoiding clicking on all of these because we're going to click on them all later. Go talk to this fella.
In his late 20s stands behind the counter, inspecting a stuffed seabird. As you approach, he gives you a sideways glance, then looks down again. That was disdain in his eyes. Even now he's purposely ignoring you.
Oh no, you're a hero. A real hero cop.
Could the massive property damage upstairs have anything to do with this?
Just gotta save this one here.
Am I? Or did you ride in, take the body down, solve the murder, and not trash my hostel room? You're right, you didn't, and it's only taken you 3 days not to. No, I haven't seen you around. I'm not always here. No, I'm not the bartender. I'm the cafeteria manager. I have 3 cafeterias to manage. 3. Sylvie tends the bar here, not me. I'm only standing in.
I mean, it's not really that different. And if someone asked for a drink, you'd probably be the person who had to get it. But, you know.
A competent work of taxidermy. The white and looks like the bird was ripped off. This is the
So basically, the game progresses time as you talk to people. So
something about it makes you feel bitter.
Look, your buddy.
No matter what you
is
say, he
Why
always
don't
says
you
the
go
same
and
thing here.
Talk to him, okay?
He pretends not.
So we'll have to talk to him again in a second, but yeah, at this point in time, oops, I can go ahead and pick this up here. There's some Nosafed or something like that in here, which is a healing item for your health. So we could talk to her, but I'm going to go talk to Kim, who's your buddy cop in this buddy cop duo. He's the respectable, responsible one who likes fast cars, and you are the shambolic mess of one who likes disco.
As you approach, he narrows his eyes and extends
or something
his
like
hand
that.
in greeting. If an assault were launched on this building right now, if the windows came crashing down and the whole world descended upon you,
I'm not 100% sure why this comes up. Like, why would he do any of that at this point? Because he doesn't know me.
But why? He is your half-brother.
Hello. I'm Kim Kitsuragi, Lieutenant, Precinct 57. You must be from the 41st.
You realize he's wait. This is your chance to come up with a really good name for yourself. Get concentration makes you squint your eyes. Your name should be deep gold and orange, like a forest fire looming on.
Okay, then. It looks like we had a little skidding out.
What he means is, he has been trying to meet up with you for 2 days, but you have been other.
If you don't mind, we should talk to. It also wouldn't hurt to assure him the police are finally here. In full. At the 57th, we like to prepare an initial list of persons.
So it's basically saying that we should be doing some actual police work.
Have you removed the dead body from the tree? So,
this is the first time
where it has been hanging for 7 days straight. I can see you drink. If you need something for your headache, there is a general store nearby. But I talked to the manager. After you.
If you're about to embark.
You mean you don't have a badge? Losing your identity.
Lieutenant gets...
Okay, so we'll deal with all that sort of in a little bit here, but for now, let's just head on over to this guy again.
The man with the...
Mr. Guard.
Yes.
I am Kim Kitsuragi from Precinct 57. This is an inter-district investigation, so joining me from Precinct 41...
Still doesn't know my name. I'm gonna ask this question.
Are you kidding me? It's you. It's obviously you.
See? Everyone agrees.
Is this what you get when you call the police now?
Sir, I understand your concern.
Yes, of course.
I know
Alright,
it
let's
took
see what
us
we
a
can
while to
manage.
arrive at the scene,
This is
but
basically
No, I only just got here. It was
just
probably
some
Sylvie
preamble.
called.
There's nothing much that you
She
get from
usually
this,
works the bar.
honestly, except for where the body
Do you have
is,
her number?
basically,
As a
and
matter of
contact
fact, I
number
do.
for Sylvie.
You said you
But
didn't
she doesn't
work
give
here.
you very much information
where?
either.
What, of Martinez? No. I live in Jamrock. I only some...
But you still know your way around.
Yes, I know where some things are, but as I said...
I didn't imply that.
He probably means this is where you step in and his face. Ask him about the body's location.
Behind this building, there's a courtyard. That's easy. See that door there? First, I don't know who...
This is it. He said they hoisted.
This
his
is why
body
rhetoric
on
is
the tree.
useful. It'll
Who
catch
is
things
this
in conversation,
they
which is a big part of
if
this
he
game.
doesn't know.
Oh, people are... the locals.
Did
That
the
doesn't make a
debarders
huge difference
themselves
there,
tell you
but-
this, or
I don't really know. I would suppose...
you mean the strike?
Yes, the strike. The man...
The lieutenant turns the page.
She went away because...
Have they not been telling you you're a cop?
Okay, you got me.
Thank you.
I asked an employee out. She didn't want to come, but felt obliged to. It was a bad idea. Now, what is so goddamn fascinating about that for you? It's got nothing to do with the lynching. Good for you. Was there something else?
Let's go.
Not so fast. You owe me 130 real. Oh, excuse me. You owe me 130 real.
The IIR, or Inter-Isolary Real, is the global reserve currency. Whatever part of the world you're in.
No, you don't owe me street cred. You owe me money. You owe this establishment 130 real. What are you, a philosopher?
Since I woke up, I have trouble remembering even the most basic concepts of reality.
Money is what grown-up people use to pay for things. Things like this hostel room, or 8 bottles of potent blend, and 9 packs of Royal Extra. We use it for everything, really. Are you serious? From your work? I don't know. You can take bribes, I guess.
Some do take recompense, but only to survive.
Well, I would definitely be doing it to survive.
For survival, to pay me. Unless you want to become a hobo. If you run out of money...
There's a shuffle of nylon. That's cop 4. I haven't offered to pay because I...
Let's see. Another thing you've annihilated is half the bar. You've run a tab of 30 real. Actually, more, but we'll round it down to 30 for your hard work maintaining the stability and order of Revachol. That's 60 plus 40 plus 30 equals 130 real. And yes, real is still money.
I like that you can just say this. I'm not going
sorry,
to bother
but
doing
he
that.
has to pay.
Officer, maybe you are better off working this from home for now. You live in Jamrock, right? It's not that far away.
Yeah, I don't
Officer,
remember where my home is.
You really need to take this up with your station. I have a shortwave radio in my...
Good luck.
Okay, so I think I can take Hobocop from here, which I might take, but I probably... Yeah, let's probably
By
take
the
it.
way, where is home? But you've been at this hostel cafeteria. Why did you say that?
No. A saying. Up on Marvel Hill. A great high place. One that is impossible to climb back to.
That doesn't sound like somewhere you can stay if you run out of money.
So this one is something that gives you like some sort of weird thing. This one gives me Hobocop. This gives me the ability to get some extra money from bottles.
Entertain the thought.
So basically I can go into here and I can internalize that thought. So let's go ahead and do that. Reduces my composure, but that's fine. And it gives me the ability to basically
Hello,
get more
sweetie.
money from bottles.
Who's Sweetie?
Why, you are, officer. You're a handsome man, officer, with your mustache and your chiseled jaw and that silly dimple on your chin. You must forgive me. I'm getting so scatterbrained. I'm Lena. My husband Morel and I are staying with our friend Gary just down the street, but I come here for tea.
This Lena is wacky enough for the Motley Crew. Hire her on the spot.
How do you like to roll with me?
Whatever do you mean? Sequence killers? Oh my.
A partner who needs you to help him get a corpse down from a tree. I can assure you with absolute certainty that...
Now, gentlemen, no need to thank you, but perhaps another time. Yes, officer. You look rather dazed. Like a stunned fox. But surely things can't be that bad.
No, they are that bad. I drank so hard I forgot literally everything.
Oh my. You know where we are, right?
A war zone at the edge of the world.
It does still look like that in some parts of the city.
Hey there. Hey Gorilla King 88, how are you doing?
We are in a hostel called the Whirling in Rags, dear. And the Whirling itself is in the city of Revachol. How would I even begin to tell you? Revachol is the most beautiful city in the world. We're fortunate to be here, you and I.
Not necessarily in this part of it, I'd honestly say.
I haven't seen very many other cities personally, but everyone says so. Revachol is a rare jewel. Speaking of history, you know what year it is, yes?
That tape you picked up said 43. You seem to be a hip modern man who listens to hip modern records, so it must be 43.
What game cat you like to play? I'm not sure what a game cat is. Do you mean category? I don't know. I like to have a variety of games, I guess. Let's see here. I'm probably going to say it is a bad year in my late 40s or 50s.
There. The year is 51, and...
The lieutenant studies you. I'm beginning to suspect that you might indeed be completely adrift in this reality, thinks the lieutenant. How can it be that bad? Never mind. We're in this now.
I think, like, these days, now that I'm getting sort of older as well... Yeah, category. I think now that I'm getting older as well, I like games that require less about the execution, although that's not really true. I've been playing Darktide on the hardest difficulty, and that requires a lot of, like, accuracy and stuff like that.
For you, so I'll just ask one more question. What regime are we living under? What mode of government?
I'm gonna go with this one, even though I know it's wrong.
Oh, sweetie. It's really not.
Starfield. No, I don't tend to like open world games a ton. And especially Bethesda ones actually really bother me. I like Bethesda games in that you can just sort of take like the bloody mess perk or the equivalent of whatever game you're playing and just run around blasting stuff and just completely ignore their garbage plot. But their plots are almost always garbage. I don't even think that like I don't even remember like New Vegas having a good storyline as far as I was concerned. It's better than 3, but they tend to have games that I think are really quite just good for meandering around a little bit and doing meaningless violence for no reason.
But they still have cops.
Oh dear, this is troubling. You really ought to know that, being one yourself.
I haven't actually heard amazing things about Starfield either. Is it actually like something you like?
The status of law enforcement has been
a lot of people have been saying that like it's basically just a normal Bethesda game.
But we should stop
in
for
space.
Today, sweetie. You look like you need a break.
She's scared now. She's realized you really are brain damaged.
You didn't do too well, dear. It does look like
a sigh.
But maybe a fresh set of eyes is what the world needs, and while I'm no doctor, such bouts of amnesia are a defeat, I'm afraid. The people of this archipelago tried to build something new, something different. The rest of the world didn't like it, so they came and ended it.
I think the way to play like a Bethesda game, if you are going to play it, is to wait like a couple of years for the mods to come out. And then sort of stack in a whole bunch of those. I think that's typically
something to do with
what I would say to do, but I still don't bother usually.
I really don't know how to explain it better.
I don't
Someone
know.
more educated in sweeping matters. Maybe you should ask.
No, I'm not an encyclopedia.
Open
I
world
won't be a
games,
game
I
builder.
tend not to think about.
I'm a
I
detective.
can't think of any that I really enjoyed.
Of course. Then I don't know. Someone rich, maybe? Of course, dear.
Okay, so now that we've talked to her about that, we can go talk to Joyce, and she'll tell us to understand some very basic things about reality here. And once we've done that, we can do some experience gaining. Yeah, I don't know. I'd consider playing Starfield, I guess, if it's different from a lot of their other games. If it's got, like, more structure, but I don't think that that's how that runs there. Let's go ahead and equip our plastic bag. Let's pick up these before they disappear. Certain things that you do can actually cause the stupid bottles in this game to despawn, and I kind of hate that. I'm not 100% sure what it was that was causing that. I know that you can look up why that bottles despawn and spawn in, but I honestly could not tell you exactly how to prevent it. Alright. So basically, once we, like, internalize HoboCop, we'll be able to sell these bottles for, like, double the amount. So, if we have, like, say 20 of these, we can get, like, $4 off of it. An extra couple of dollars compared to someone who doesn't internalize HoboCop. It's not much, but it helps. It's certainly not going to pay 130 real. But it's better than nothing. I guess Star Sector is probably... Oh, actually, no. There is an open world game that I do play. They're mostly space sims. So I guess Starfield's kind of like that, but what everyone's told me is that the space element of it, like the actual spaceships, are pretty limited. You get to customize one, and it's kind of neat that way, but the amount of stuff that you do in your spaceship is limited compared to a game that focuses on that, like compared to X4 Foundation or compared to Elite Dangerous or something like that, or Star Sector even. Those are all games where you're much more focused on your spaceships, and I like those ones a lot more, because I like spaceships. I do wish those games were a little bit less grindy and requiring you to, like, do a million things to get your spaceships. Like, if I wanted to ever play a really in-depth space sim, it would probably require me to be a little bit more patient. Yeah, No Man's Sky would probably be a little bit better for me.
Leans against the cabin top of her sailing boat, smiling as you approach. Her green raincoat glistens with...
Although even that one has a little
silk
bit too much
scarf
ground
is
stuff
tied
in
around her
my
throat.
opinion, but especially now,
morning,
it's just,
officers.
like,
I'm Joyce.
hard for me to, like, want to get into No Man's Sky just because it was, like, such a scuffed release, and, like, I kind of, like, lost the hype, I
Joyce
guess,
L.
although it wasn't
Messier.
that
I
hyped to
represent the
begin
board
with.
of Wild Pines, the owners of the harbour. You gentlemen must be from the RC.
But yeah, like, No Man's Sky is actually definitely a game I would pick up way before Starfield.
Peyton, my maiden name. I meant you, the Revachol Citizens Militia, the police.
So I want to tell you, the first time I played this game on normal difficulty, the first thing, like, I managed to get the body from the tree, and we stuffed it in the fridge, and then I managed to find the bullet by digging around in his head with my hand. Immediately after doing that, without going to anywhere that could conceivably have a sink, I went and immediately shook Joyce Messier's hand with my brain-covered fingers. So I wish that had a unique dialogue thing, but there's no way that would, you know, be something
I'm
they
glad to
keep
see
track
you
of.
here. I was dispatched to handle a strike, not a lynching. Anything I can do to assist the RCM in this matter, I will, gladly.
Yeah, this is actually a bad year for me to, like, want to go back in time, though, to play a game that is good that came out a while ago, because there's actually a lot of games that have been coming out that I like lately. One of the things that's
That
rough
is
is,
good
like,
to
there aren't
hear,
very many good
madame.
horror games this
My
October.
colleague
I ended
will
up getting
continue
Amnesia
this
Bunker,
interview.
but, like,
I should let you know that he is recovering from an unusual medical...
How interesting. I wish you a swift recovery. In the meanwhile, you have my full cooperation, and the full cooperation of the Wild Pines group.
okay, so I'm
Of
gonna
course, Detective.
just And there, let's go talk to Kim.
Yes? What do you want to know? Maybe you can tell me what you do know. Then you are not that far behind, actually. Do you want me to brief you? 3 days ago, the RCM emergency.
Yes, this is the basic stuff here.
About the security guard.
I don't know, maybe I don't know. I've been picking up a lot of games that I would say I was going to play. Like, this actually is a game that I picked up on a sale because I told my friends, like, if it comes up on sale, I'll play it and I'll stream it for my friends, and I did that, so now I'm doing a little bit of that here. But it's an older game as well. I wasn't planning on getting it, and if I didn't get bullied into it, I wouldn't have bothered.
During that time, the victim
I'm glad I did, though. It's a good game.
Belongings. The caller did not identify him. A security guard or worker of some sort. They didn't identify themselves. There's a strong prejudice against involving the RCM in what's... That's us.
I'm just going to skip through this really quickly, because, like, there's a lot of...
militia is the...
That's right.
Okay,
No, it's not a... The deceased is a security guard for a corporation involved in a labor dispute. It doesn't take a DeLorean polymath to put the pieces together. There was some interest in this case at my station, but not for the reasons you have in mind. You seem to wish. Good point.
The weary tone is the surest indicator that the lieutenant is being sarcastic.
Alright, let's just continue being... What's this game about? This game is a bit multi-layered. This game is about a murder mystery. So you're a detective, but the murder mystery is kind of tangential to what the actual game sort of is.
No, not really.
It can still be an other. He's basically challenging you to sex it up with some lurid twist. Don't get right into it. Sit on it a bit. Then hit him with it.
Okay, I'm actually going to skip this for now. We're going to skip that one.
No response. He's having trouble processing it. Believe it.
But, yeah, it's hard to describe what this game's really about, in all honesty, because while there is this murder mystery that you're supposed to do, it's kind of more about your character who has this horrible amnesia going on a journey of, like, rediscovering himself and not liking what he finds there, but trying to change what that is, or, you know, just following into whatever he is.
Have you tried concentrating on some...
There is a sudden, harsh edge to his voice, like he's tired of hearing about...
So it's kind of a weird game.
Fine. We should get through this day first. Off hours begin at 9 p.m. Really? You look fine to me. This psychodrama is...
Clearly, he prefers to think you're malingering.
Then you should consider seeking medical attention. You can use the radio in my kinema to call your station's lazaret.
Okay, so that's all good for now. But, yeah, like, so you basically learn a whole bunch about the world and about yourself and what you believe in and stuff like that. So it's a little bit, like, it's a little bit rough.
There was a touch of discomfort there. She wants to merely represent.
The Pines core comp, and that
So
is the
she's just
term.
going to explain a whole ton
Another
about a
subdivision
lot of
deals
stuff.
with
This is a
energy,
lot of
oil,
lore
and
dump.
gas exploration.
The wild
If you have any
Pines
questions about
is
this,
one
you can sort of
Sol
ask.
Baptiste, LUN, an unknown entity known.
Why, thank you. I'm not at liberty to discuss...
A billion?
Yes, a conglomerate the size of Wild Pine. They started centuries of care, deliberation.
There's also a
and
lot of, like,
madness
politics in this game. It's
have
a
gone
very,
into
very
this
political
endeavor.
game.
You know more than you let on. Certainly it helped. You mean aside from being the terminal's legal owners? Who are responsible for moving 8% of the... We built this...
We.
All the best parts of it. Rue de Saint-Ghislain, with its bastions. The plaza.
She gives you, like, a ridiculous amount of lore, and she doesn't, like, make it quick, so that's why I'm sort of skipping through this here. If you want to get the gist of what she's talking about here, she works for a company called the Wild Pines. It's one of the very large monopolies that's been state-sanctioned. That happened a long time ago, and they're ridiculously large, influential, and rich.
A company getaway? For a weekend or a summer holiday?
With your help, hopefully,
Okay.
says her warm tone.
So at this point in time, now that you've talked to her about that and understood that she's a very rich person, thanks to the fact that we had someone tell us that rich people tend to know a lot about reality, we can now ask about reality here.
Yes, an experimental side case.
I got so drunk I forgot literally everything.
What?
I went on a 3-day bender, and now I need you to explain the world to me. Yeah. I'm playing some Disco Elysium. I'm playing it on hardcore. I actually beat it already, but I missed a whole ton of stuff. I actually solved the case completely on the 4th day. Sans for the, getting unconscious for a bit. But, I skipped to that, so I missed a whole ton of content. So I'm just redoing that on hardcore mode with the same sort of playthrough.
Such an acute encephalopathy. Just doesn't seem possible.
So
Surely
yeah.
you're joking.
Don't be phased, madame. He functions perfectly.
But I'm not going to be doing the whole thing on this one.
slow down
I might
all
skip
of
over to... I'm not sure. I want to know how long Amnesia Bunker is, because I want to finish that on Halloween, but...
We may be here a while then.
Who knows?
All right, we're in. I know these all look good, but begin with the first, okay?
Okay, so once we get through this, I can
Martinez,
get
baby.
access to Je ne veux, which is what we want to get out of this
A casual
conversation
term
here.
of endearment popular among the 50-plus crowd. It's a disco holdover, pay it no heed. Martinez is
And
a
again,
district
she's
of
going to give us...
Revachol. A
Everything
very
is
small
voiced now?
district
Yes.
tucked away near the
I don't know if
industrial
everything
harbour,
is. Harry
north
does
of the
not ever get a
881
voice.
and Jamrock.
Except for his internal voices, which get plenty of voice acting, but yes, it is all 100% voiced. So I'm still going to skip through all of Joyce Messier talking, because she is just lore dumping the ever-loving hell out of us. If you want to get what she's getting at, you can just look it up on the wiki.
You would be excused for not knowing about it. I'm not a good ambassador. I've
There are
only
some
been
important
here
bits here.
once
She
before.
does talk about how
a
she has
teenager.
been here in Martinez, and
As I
that
told you,
there is a bit of a
Martinez
fondness to
used
this
be a
place.
province. It's not really a sea. Yes,
Known to the early vast, lukewarm,
Caillou,
it is clear this, and to humanity at large.
Revachol. Revachol is what you call a sick for great.
As if
Okay,
itself
so this should be the last one I need to
The
do.
nations of the Ox in the Delor. They say, by that I mean, we are standing on a fertile I think it 22 kilometers from the.
So she's talking about how important this whole place
Like
is,
there is no
essentially.
recognition, only the immensity of the sea.
We are where we are.
There we go. Thought game
I
Je ne
have
veux.
no truer answer to give, unfortunately.
So we're going to go ahead and internalize that one. And once we get this, it's going to give us a whole bunch of just passive experience points.
This is one thought you need.
Here's some hammering.
Was there something else you wanted
I'm
to
going
know?
to check to make sure that's not someone
I
knocking
remember
my door, but I'm
something
pretty sure
about
someone's
a
hammering
lowdown.
something. Yeah, it's someone doing repairs. I can't, I just want to
This
double
has
check.
been informative. Thank you, ma'am. Might I suggest not asking?
Absolutely. My commitment.
It's better not to.
Indeed.
Okay.
I'm always at your service. Glad to have been of assistance.
Is
So-
what you want. Look at that lady. Take a why, yeah. While these are the kind eyes of within reason. Now look at you. You're poor. Poor as balls. You can't ask this person for money. You're too. You think your little communism protects you from this feeling.
As I was saying, if there's any way I may be of assistance, please don't hesitate to ask.
So I can try and get her so that she's sympathetic to my brain damage, at which point I can get this to over 50%, but we could also just leave that for now. So let's ask about other
Everything.
things here.
Right up to, but not including, trade secrets. I believe the official title is...
And how are the talks going?
They're not. That's the... Now they won't even let me into the harbour. There's a 2-meter 20 racist behemoth blocking the gates. What can I say? The Union employs a giant covered in tattoos. A racist giant. I guess that's part of their big tent organisation now. Let's say I was not making the kind of progress I'd hoped for when I first arrived.
And when did you first arrive?
I arrived 3 weeks ago. Yes, in the middle of February. The bay was still partially frozen then. I prefer to do these things on site, like the RCM.
But the strike began in...
I wasn't the original negotiator here. I took over after Mr. Gaumont hit a wall with Mr. Clare, the union boss. Mr. Clare refused to speak with Gaumont despite concessions he'd granted the union in prior negotiations.
This isn't the first time the union has gone on...
Heavens no. There have been 2 prior strikes. Both times the union won significant concessions, including overtime pay and a medical plan. This time their demands are more, I guess you could say, aggressive.
Ludicrous, even. It's meant.
Okay, so we can ask about these other people. None of this is technically important.
Mr. Clare told him to... How did he put it? Fuck off, midget. Gaumont is short of stature, you see.
Okay.
Yes. Keep in mind, this is a negotiator Mr. Clare has worked with before, and who was more than fair with him and the union. There are leaflets everywhere, and banners. What did they say again? Oh yes, every worker, a member of the board.
Most of the workers probably don't know what that means.
Let's see here.
Then you might also like their other slogan. Demand democracy. Personally, I don't think it has the same pizzazzo as every worker a member of the board. It's quite simple, you see. Every time the Wild Pines group makes a decision about what? About anything really, it needs the signature of each of the 2,200 workers in its Martinez terminal.
So this is technically wrong. If all 2,200 workers were on the board, it would potentially require their signatures, but what would actually need is just enough to reach a majority. So you wouldn't actually have to have that many, and if a bunch of abstain from votes, it would depend on how they've structured their voting system, but very likely you don't actually need to have the workers actually sign anything every single time if they don't want to.
Just so you understand, this is but one of 22 terminals owned by Wild Pines. Essentially, not only are they kings of the company, they are also kings of the 72,000 employees of Wild Pines Group.
So the way to fix that would just be to put the other 70,000 employees on the board, which, you know...
That may well be. It's not up to me to decide who is king, but as negotiations go, it's not a swell start.
Still, in spite of that, like, you know, any representative of the current board of directors of the company is absolutely going to reject that, because it's basically saying it's like, yeah, we're just not going to own the company anymore.
I'm not sure. Naturally, I assume that was just their opening position, a hard-nosed tactic with a side of mockery. But there's been no follow-up, just the same nonsensical slogan repeated over and over again. And now, people are getting lynched, I hear. Behind the whirling in rags. A disastrous situation if there ever was one.
Excuse me, from whom did you hear about this lynching?
I first heard it from the boyer at the gates. The one whose very name advertises his aversion to work. I think he said it was, "Call me Manana."
This checks out.
Everard Clare is a man of the utmost integrity. If you can say one thing about him, it's that he always puts the interests of the workers first. Of course not. Everard is fantastically corrupt. I imagine he has a thick, viscous goo where you and I have blood.
I don't know, blood's kind of a thick, viscous goo compared to water, but, you know.
He is the most corrupt individual I have ever seen, and I deal with men like him for a living. If there is anyone more venal, more irredeemably nepotistic, then it's his twin brother, Edgar. Yes, Edgar looks exactly like his brother, except for that lazy eye. He also talks exactly like Everard does, and when one's term as foreman is up, the other takes over. It's how they circumvent the term limits, you see, with a funny little switcheroo. While in office, they've embezzled God knows how much of their workers' dues. The Débardeurs Union was once a perfectly normal institution. 20 years ago, anyway. It must not have been easy to establish under the Emergency Act, but they did it. I can respect that. Organised labour at its best, as they say. Then something happened.
I wonder how long that hammering is going to go, but
the brothers Clare
can't really blame them. It's a good time of day for that.
How do you say?
A mob. The Débardeurs are a crime syndicate. Sad as it may be, I suspect we'll be forced to cooperate with them.
Refreshingly honest, officer. The company has tried appeasing in the past, but I'm afraid our concessions have only emboldened Evrart and his brother. And your opinion, Detective, if I may ask? I'm a curious and talkative person, you see. Would you say the Debardeurs Union is...
So this is one of the problems I actually have with this game, because I want to say this, but, you know, in a positive light, because it's like, they're a socialist mob, and that's a good thing. But, you know, yeah,
Why do you
whatever.
think so?
Yeah, so I also kind of like both of these answers. So I'll just go with this one.
A real man of the left. What else? I'm glad you asked. There was a woman, the previous forewoman of the Union. She disappeared.
Disappeared?
Yes. On the last day of the local chapter elections, her daughter phoned in and said she wasn't running anymore, or coming to work. Ever. End of story. Downright haunting, if you ask me. The Wild Pines suspected foul play, but what could they do?
I never got
It was a
actually
union
very
matter.
concrete evidence as to what the foul play there is. There is some, but I don't know what
The
it is.
presentation is, these kinds of things happen around the Clares. Watch out when you're dealing with him.
Thank you for your concern, ma'am. We'll be...
Of course.
Okay.
How else can I help?
So we can now ask a bit about the lynching and stuff like that.
Quite a few things, The information I'm to share with you includes sensitive trade secrets. For the sake of my employer, I
Okay,
have
so
to
we've got
ask
our
for your
first
names
skill
and badge
point, so we can
numbers.
use that to increase one of these things. I could, for example, use that to increase encyclopedia, go back to the room and get that check again.
Of course, ma'am. We should have introduced ourselves. And this is my colleague from Precinct...
How curious. Why is that, Detective? How can I forget? I was hoping your condition was rhetorical, Detective. A questioning technique.
I wish it
I
were.
have sympathy for your highly unusual condition, sir. And I believe you. But as it...
I understand.
I'm afraid
Okay.
not, Luke.
She's a
So that one was
professional
actually kind of
negotiator.
important.
She should be open to some sort of mutually beneficial arrangement.
I can try this one now, and unfortunately I don't have a way around it. I have to try it now. I've only got 42%, even though I've got the sympathy for amnesia thing.
Feelings
Damn.
will go.
I assure you...
This
it
one
is
doesn't
no
matter too
small
much. I think I
matter
take
for
some
me
psych
either.
damage for this,
We all
but...
share the responsibility for trust...
She's silent.
Officer. You know,
You're doing it.
I'll be frank, the Union is or
Detective.
Okay, so we can confer together.
Hey. Psst, psst. Yes, you. Word on the street is you're ready to start building communism again.
I didn't get the communist ending thing because I like literally skipped over it last time because I finished the game too fast, which is weird. But
You keep saying things like, down with the bourgeoisie, eat the rich, sodomize the landowners, impale all people who have more than 25 real in their pocket, literally murder all human beings regardless of their political beliefs. That kind of stuff.
all right, that sounds like me.
Funky style. Very funky. So tell me, do you have any questions before we fire up the big communism builder? Or do we get right down to it? Failure. It's
Okay.
about
Just
failure.
sort of skip through this stuff
Yes,
again here.
you alone. You against the atom. The charm and the...
I'm assuming like
Now
most
get to
people
work,
sort of have seen
comrade.
this stuff because like nothing really diverges at this point of the game.
Oh yeah. Get the firing squads.
All right. So now I got access to that.
This is not going quite as I hoped it would. Honestly, I was expecting you to use your unorthodox technique to keep her off balance. And this woman is running circles around us. She might have known about your... No. If there is... What I propose is, we ask her, then we investigate. Briefly. But do not share the outcome.
Okay, so I can go ahead and actually also internalize this one, and that's pretty much all that we're going to be able to get.
you're back. Good.
Okay, so
can I
we now
help you
have Mazovian socioeconomics approve, and I heard billions. Oh, right, I don't get the other thing. Well, either way, let's do this
It's quite
first.
straightforward. Someone is using Terminal B to smuggle raw
So again, this isn't really important.
dextroamphetamine, GBL, and various synthetic psychic. Yes, After
Wild Pines.
we're in logistics. Yes.
We're
but you
mostly
won't-
talking to her because it kills time.
The motor lorries.
Precisely. Perhaps you've noticed that a number of lorries are tangled in a traffic jam. I'll be explicit. If we did,
We know the company.
well, no. This is 1,000.
Well,
What is that?
why I had.
I am sorry for the inconvenience, Lieutenant. How do you think that?
There was a.
With all due precisely. Smuggled out of that, yes? Excellent.
Basically just
It
take
may
all the
come-
cases
in
that you can.
meantime, let me know if there's any other way I may be of assistance.
Okay.
I am sorry. Surprisingly eloquent, really. The last one, not the first three. Those are ape speak.
My. That's garbage. You're a police officer. Of course.
Okay, so we'll come back to this one later. Very unfortunate. I would have liked to have passed that. We'll try and get that later on today, but for now this is fine. Let's head up the car and see me failing the rest of these 50-50s, because that's what they were. I've been failing all the 50-50s. I don't think I've passed a single one. Alright, we can't actually save scum these, but I kind of don't want to. I don't think that that's the correct way to play this game, partly because failure in checks doesn't really do anything negative. Alright.
Before you stands a motor vapor emanates from the large end. This must be the infernal machine that tore you from oblivion.
So this is
The
Kim's car.
Caprice Kinema motor carriage. In the cabin, you are welcomed by a set of steering levers, a radio microphone on a hook, a pull-out toolbox under the seat, a metallic drawer.
Take what you need.
He's clearly the prime useful for the handles.
Just take
are
all of
robot,
these
lets you
ingredients.
see the pull-out toolbox slides back.
And let's open up the radio here.
Please assist our colleague from the 41st precinct here. I'm putting him on.
This is Officer Alice Demetri, Precinct 57. How may I assist you?
Okay, so this is for the mental health check
will
thing.
take just a
It doesn't
moment.
really do anything, but I get some experience points.
Gottlieb, what do you want?
He's carelessly chewing on a piece of hard candy.
Okay.
Oh, it's you. With all the damage you've been dealing yourself with drugs and alcohol, I'm not surprised. What else? I'm not a brain doctor.
It's hard to say if he doesn't believe you, or
Yes, there's no end to the misfortunes, fate. Who? You are? You lost your human visage a while back. Now let's get on with it. I've got more important things to do. What? You want me to do blood work for you again? Tell you just how bad things really are across the board? You want another rundown of everything collapsing inside your body? You want the real, honest-to-God truth? Stop drinking, eat magnesium and vitamin D. Our station is not a retirement home. We don't have the funds to deal with. And no, I don't want to hear a political commentary on the topic. In fact, I got work to do. Some idiot has glued his eyelids shut with cyanoacrylate. It looks like Mactorson.
That part's good. Someone he really just does not give a shit.
It's not fucking cryoactylate. It's super glue, Doc.
And you survived it. Congrats. Even better. Anything else? I wouldn't worry about that. Officers your age have coronary trouble all the time. Also, death is a natural part of life.
Yeah, this guy truly does hate us. Okay.
Anything else I can help you with, Officer?
Okay, so let's do this part next.
10-2, 10-5. This is 41st. Come in. Over.
a scrawny old man sits in a dusty cubicle.
So we know a bit
The
about
man
this guy.
uses relay code. You got this. You're a cop, and cops know relay code.
10-4, message received. 10-5, relay message. What's your state? 10-18, state your message, sir. 10-4, your badge should have most of your personal details. Look over that. Over. 10-9, over. 10-4, message received. This is a very serious situation. I need to 1022 the captain. Over.
Is it him? What does he want?
Says he lost his badge and needs to report it.
He what? He lost his badge?
This is Communication Officer Jules P. You mean your partner? Over.
What is he saying?
He's asking who you are.
I'm his goddamn partner.
It's your partner, Satellite Officer Vitmar, sir. Over.
Did he lose his memory along with his fucking badge?
Who lost his badge?
Dick fucking Mullen. Who do you think?
It's Officer Dick Mullen from the bestseller Dick Mullen and the Lost Identity.
Dick Mullen is not your name. It's the name of a fictional detective.
This would be pretty great if I failed that.
His badge. Defend yourself. Immediately. They're laughing at you.
10-4, I hear you, officer. I'm just going to make a note here.
Fuck me! Mac, come here!
What's going on?
I wonder if his eyes still glued shut.
Super Cop here lost his badge.
He lost his what now?
His badge. He lost his goddamn fucking badge.
Lost a badge.
10-9, come again. I didn't get that. Over.
New heights even for...
Ask him. Ask.
Sergeant Orson wants to know.
Check your pockets. Check your... Holy fuck. You don't know where it is, do you? No.
10-9, coming officer. Did you get my question?
Let's see if I can pass a check.
Even before you can get the words out, everything gets scrambled in your brain.
He says he didn't lose his...
Ask him to describe it. His gun. Not his fun.
Satellite Officer McLean
Oh, request a description, huh? We'll give him one. Describe the plasma gun.
Describe the plasma gun.
He says it's just...
Sounds like he's being...
Detective Mullen has done it again.
Dear God, he lost his gun.
This isn't really a...
Mac can face a giant of Coco Nur by himself.
Oh,
I'm not going to.
Ask him.
Sergeant Orson here is wondering if you are still in possession of your genitalia. Over.
That's pretty good.
The silence is...
That did not go well. I guess the important thing... Did we need anything else here?
Let's see here. At this point in time, we have to go do this.
How may
I haven't really passed any checks, which is really obnoxious, but whatever.
Of course. What is the number, officer?
Yes.
Received.
Lieutenant.
Officer? Yes, hello?
Okay, so...
Oh, right.
This conversation, again, not really that important.
What can I do for you? No, not me. No, sorry. I don't. People don't have the money to have the cables put in again. They use the Union's phone, or the one on the coast.
So the Union has a phone, and there's one further down the coast. Got it.
It was someone else. We'll find them sooner or later, officer.
What? Of course it bothered me. But I thought the Union already knew about the court. No one calls the police. The Union would get angry. You know, what the Union says goes. People listen to them and they take care of their own, which is like everyone here. I didn't want to get...
Push her further. Show her
the other people who live around here. Local people, I didn't want trouble. You don't live here. You don't understand. Squealing is frowned upon here. Everything is dealt with, well, by the Union, internally. Please, I just didn't want any trouble.
I mean, usually trying to avoid trouble is a great way to get in trouble, but still.
What? Yeah, go on.
Okay, let's go with this one.
You mean, why did I leave the bar?
Why not?
What? No, why would you even think that? Please, don't bring... I already said I don't want to talk about this. You're messing everything up again. Yes, I know.
This exact conversation has happened before.
Oh.
Real policemen have uniforms too, by the way. Where's yours? He's in plain clothes, voluntarily. It's different from not knowing where your uniform is. There are officers who wear the signature Perseus black uniforms to the highest ranks in the RCM and end up buried in them as well.
The answer to these is like
Others
no,
do it
but
more casually. Looks
I'm
like
trying
you're
to
one of them.
remember if I think I can still do this
I
part.
do hope so. Please, don't call me again. Bye.
Yes.
Okay, finally
you
passed a goddamn
obviously
check
done
here.
Something to upset her at the Whirling in Rags when she was still working there.
You're mad at me, right? Yeah.
I'm not mad. It's just you were so drunk and so emotional all the time, and then the skua thing happened. It just made me want to quit. Yes, obviously, you were the worst client I've ever seen, and I had seen so many assholes in this place. I've had sailors fighting, union guys grabbing my ass, kids stealing booze. Once a guy was glued to the karaoke machine every night for 2 months. But you... well, you were worse than all of them. Honestly, you were getting borderline aggressive. Even about little things like not turning down the volume at 3 a.m. I even liked one of those songs you kept listening to on repeat. No more. I hate it now. We Go On by the O.O. I can't listen to hell with that song. Then there was your room. I tried to send the cleaner, but you wouldn't let me. And then you screamed something about being the most boring person alive and how everyone leaves you because you're just so boring. And then I had to deal with your toilet.
Okay, this is important information
cleaner
here.
Documents causing water damage downstairs in the kitchen. I won't even mention you waving your gun around, harassing customers, threatening to sing karaoke, threatening to kill yourself.
Yeah, the police documents is actually important.
The ones I had to rent out of your toilet. Damn it, I don't remember what I did to your damn papers. I don't remember every little thing I do. Especially when there's a hurricane loose. It's your fault for losing them, not mine.
Something in you wants to immediately forget about this, as if there was a reason you threw them away.
Yeah, so finding them is something that's actually quite good, but...
No, you really weren't. You were simply the worst. God, I knew I shouldn't have brought it up. Just try not to call me again, and let's pretend it never happened. Wait, really? No, no. I was actually flattered. I've always liked him. It was just bad timing, with the corpse and all that.
There's a pause.
I didn't know what to say to him later. Then you came and destroyed the place, so I left without explaining. I should have told him, maybe. Okay, but please don't mess it up. Please don't take out your gun or something.
Okay, let's ask about the skua.
The bird. I think you said it had been giving you shit ever since you got there.
Kind of feel like that one would be really funny, but I'm just gonna say that sounds like me.
Like you had fun doing it.
You hear a sigh of...
Anything else I can help you with, officer?
Let's see here. I think that's everything.
In the cabin, you see a set of steering levers.
Okay. Close that down for now. Ugh. Okay. Unfortunately, we haven't killed quite enough time. Like, I'm just going through these really quickly so I can get these done. But they take a lot of time. At 1 skill point, we're going to be at 2 pretty soon. We'll go talk to Gart. That'll get us another skill point. And then we can go try and get the corpse out of the tree.
Wait, what? But yes, the bird. I found it lying on the floor with a broken wing. You broke the skewer!
I assure you it was him.
Why on earth did you have to break the skewer? I can't believe it. I was so sure it was Sylvie. Even worse, I thought she was trying to send me a message. Symbol of hope and all.
A tender type of hope. Something stirs in you. Perhaps this is why you broke it.
Thanks, conceptualization.
All right. Did she say anything else? About me, you know? Did she say anything about me?
Yeah, we'll go with the honest thing here.
I should give her a call then. Thanks, I guess. Was there any... Yes. Have you got it? Like what?
Okay, so the skill points are going to help me with the checks that I'm about to flub a whole bunch of here. So, you know, that's about the basics of things. Let's go ahead and get some gloves from her.
The RCM in Martinez. We don't see a lot of police around here. That's all.
Have some questions for you.
What can I help you with? Of course.
Some directions. I'm looking for the dead body.
She's relieved someone has come for it. Finally.
What am I? I'm a bit disoriented. This is Revachol, right?
Yes, sir. District of Martinez. This intersection is called Roundabout North.
Okay.
He knows where we are. He just wants directions.
What's up in the north?
There's the pier, the Cape Side apartment buildings, some more tenements. Not a lot, really.
Given that this is like an entire district, it's actually pretty small.
The harbor gates.
Given how they designed it.
Some kind of commotion, I think. I don't follow the local politics. A fleet store, too. Some shops and a bridge. The canal bridge leads to the coast, but it's broken, I think. Some kind of accident, probably. Just coast. There's a little fishing village there, and a fish market. But that got closed down ages ago.
Okay.
It's just water. No, actually, I think they call it the Martinez Inlet. There are some islands in the bay, but they're hard to reach. No problem. Me? I am just a gardener. I am pleased to meet. Of course.
Her gloves. You get the feeling that...
Sure.
Okay, so... getting close to having killed enough time, we can start working on this here. You need to have a level if you're going to do all these thoughts, because you need to be able to get a new thought added in later. Talking to this guy is kind of a mistake, but also kind of a thing you can do. We're going to go ahead and check this out, actually.
This trash container is locked. The sliding lid has a padlock that says, well, there's something in there. The body is downwind from here. Maybe you prefer the smell of garbage to the smell of death.
Trash? Food waste from the cafeteria? They lock these containers to keep the derelicts from flocking in. Be evidence, too.
I feel like there's something in there.
What do you mean, feel? We could try using a pry bar, the one you took from my motor carriage, or we could ask for a key from the manager.
He might also have information.
Yeah, not going to be something we try to open this way. Better to ask for the key, in my opinion. I can also try and run this conceptualization roll here,
tire tracks in the
but
ground slush that cop habit. You look at everything. This isn't case hard to say. Your vision is blurred, and you're having difficulty concentrating thanks to your relentless hangover.
Okay, so I've got some penalties that are running there. Visual calculus is apparently running at -2 for some damn reason here.
You see a set of tire tracks in the brown slush that covers the plaza.
Yeah, why is my visual calculus only at 2? Interesting. So we'll try that again later, when our visual calculus is back at 4, which is what it's supposed to be. But let's go ask for the garbage key.
Can I help you? Mine?
Thank you for clearing the debt.
Why? To keep the hobos and drunks out. That's why. And the neighbors too.
I thought as much.
Well, yes, us...
It seems a little callous, doesn't it? Something prod at him and find out.
Callous? What are you?
Krasmazov, nom de guerre, was an economist and a historical materialist. He was a leading figure on the Grad side of the Centennial Revolution, where he headed the 9-day government. Mazov is considered the...
What are we talking about? Was this not about the trash container? We should return to the case of your mistaken identity at a later time, officer. This was about the trash container.
What for? Mazov? Are you planning to nationalize my trash container?
It concerns the case. Please.
Just bring them back one...
Okay. Getting real close to these. Then I'll be able to get some other stuff done here. takes a while to internalize these stupid thoughts. I kind of wish it was a little bit faster, but at the same time, I can understand why it's not.
This trash container is locked with a well... Don't. Maybe you shouldn't. Of course you should. This is your time to shine. The smell of rotten food rises to greet you. You see soggy cartons, dirty rags, and organic waste.
It's hard to, like, go through the text slowly on your second playthrough, I find. Because it's like, I've already read this.
Hasn't been emptied for over a week.
You see milk and egg rest with one broken egg in it. Some pasta wrapper. Picking up the soggy packages somehow feels familiar. A box falls into pieces in your hands. Batiste Soleil cereal. There are plastic pasta packages
Basically nothing
below.
there.
Among the threadbare kitchen towels, something catches your eye. A pair of denim trousers. As the legs of the slime-covered jeans begin to unspool from the garbage, a rank corpse smell fills the air.
The victim's clothes? Cadaverine odor is faint. If these belong to the deceased, they were removed when he was still in the early stages of decay. Drop them in here, officer. Guitar-marked blue jeans. Pockets empty or emptied. He wore them with a belt, too. A white belt. The loops appear stretched, but the belt is missing. That's it. Do you see anything else in there? I have another bag here.
I guess that's true. Proximity probably does make a big difference there. I'm just waiting until I get to the part where I'm going to have different dialogue, and then I'm going to go slower with that. But I've literally... I'm sort of retreading a bit of ground here, because it's near the beginning. You can't really diversify too much at this point in time.
A drab, long-sleeved shirt, olive-colored, appears from the food waste, dripping with pus.
This is a military type.
I think I'd have to go through a different playthrough as well, but like the way that I did my autosaves in my other one, I can't actually go back and actually do the ending, which kind of sucks, but you know.
The rest of the rags are just kitchen variety.
All right.
Okay, that's all
we
there.
Go to Gart again and ask if he knows who put the clothes in the trash. It could be as simple as someone from the hostel cleaning the yard. Or that one. I'd advise against confronting that force.
The fuck's he on about, kids? You hear that, Kuno? He thinks you're an infant or something.
See? Not really. All we know is the victim's clothes are in the trash. The lid was locked and his establishment had the key. It's just a small loose thread.
The lieutenant nods, then looks back into its
okay,
just
this is
organic
where you
waste,
get your
cold and slimy
core
on
here.
your hands. Apple and potato peels mostly. Unidentified sludge and the occasional chicken bone thrown in for nothing. It's nothing.
Anytime
Nothing
Inland
more to
Empire
say.
tells you to not continue going forward, that's a great sign to continue going forward.
What's this? A blue piece of plastic sticks out from the apple peels. It's shiny. Looks like the corner of something. Something larger. A clipboard. A blue plastic clipboard with moist papers hanging from it. They look badly damaged, but you can still make out forms and notes, written in a man's handwriting.
Officer, is that your paperwork? It is. Look, the plastic has the RCM street grid on it. You've even got an autopsy form in there. If you don't mind my asking, how could you have let your paperwork end up in the trash?
Okay. I think that this is probably the accurate one, so I picked the one that I think is most accurate. I think I didn't want to be cop anymore.
Well, luckily we
what to
found
say.
it. You should take stock of what remains, just to be sure some has not made it into the hands of the RCM's adversaries. Organized crime and the like. There might have been police secrets in your notes.
The problem here is, like, you don't remember anything, and he should know that you don't
It would also
remember
not
anything,
hurt
so...
to start taking notes on the case. Now, tell me what your eagle eyes see.
Some items, such as the ledger.
Wow.
So we can go into here.
An Armistice caliber 50 knock cannon, half wrapped in paper tissues. So shiny. It's a giant rifle, and it's very expensive. Not as expensive as that fat string of pearls snaking around the rotten banana peels, however.
I'm not entirely sure who you're supposed to think is actually talking to you here, because it's clearly not actually the trash container, it's one of your, like, internal monologue voices. I'm not sure which one it is,
And
though.
is that Cordon Electric's preamp with Electra F2 tubes? It is. That catches quite a price. We're talking 12,000. Easy. Unless you're into hi-fi yourself. That's too bad, because none of those things are actually in there. There's just food waste and crisp wrappings. All you see is a broken mug with a racist depiction of the Yellow Man frolicking in saffron.
You've acquired an interactable...
The container sounds a muffled gong.
Okay. So that does actually become a useful bit of evidence later on, which is funny enough, but, you know. Have I gotten this stupid thing yet? 50 minutes remaining, so it'll be at, like, 1:30, basically. Okay, so we can't actually go through our notes until we can get somewhere, but just go give Gart his key back first. And then we'll try and get the body off the tree. We're probably not going to be able to do it.
Can I help you? Thanks. I hope you found what you were looking for. How strange. I certainly didn't put them there. Sylvie had the keys before I got here, and I can vouch for her. I can vouch for all my stuff. None of us would tamper with the crime scene.
One of the problems that I had with this game is that the actual like mystery component to this game is not very good. Like the actual detective work is not very good.
Collection service, CS Municipal. I don't see why they would put anything.
But that's kind of fine because that's not really what the game's about. It's hard to describe what the game's about, but you know.
I doubt we'll be able to track down who was sent here last. Thank you anyway.
Yes.
Okay. So we've done that, we can go ahead and leave now. Get that done, we can get this tried out now. If I can't succeed at the check to get this down here, we're going to have a bit of a hard time.
The corpse looks at you with bulging white eyes. The face around them does not look human. It's swollen and ready to burst. His lips are fish-like, and his tongue like a ball gag in his mouth. You seem to be holding your breath. A cargo belt twists his neck at an unnatural angle. The body below appears stiff. It's letting out an ungodly rot. The smell seeps in, even through your clenched nostrils.
Active decay. It's okay.
He's about to blow! Cock's gonna blow, Kuno!
Yeah, so it is technically possible to pass this without having to do anything else, but like, eh.
The smell is repulsive.
Probably does not help that you're as hungover as you are.
Too late. It's impossible until a pool of vomit lies under your feet and your throat stings from the stomach acid.
Keep it. The hangover is clearly making this worse for you. You could use some ammonia to clear your head, if you can handle the headache. Some officers use it to deal with cadaverine odor. I can't handle the headache.
It's more likely he can handle the smell, unlike you.
There is Frit nearby, east of the hostel. There's a greenhouse here, and a gardener with a wheelbarrow on the corner of the whirling in rags. If she works here, she might have something for the smell.
Pretty clever.
Acquiring ammonia will provide...
Okay, so the most important thing about that is it lets us redo the check that we otherwise sort of can't really do here. I could actually try to do another thing while we're here. This is a fairly tough check as well, but...
An inconspicuous
especially because I have not been able to, like, pass any of my goddamn checks.
Some roofing materials. Because it's not rhythmic pattern. No. There's more to this. You get this strange. Hard to say.
So there's a secret door pass there. I passed the check in my other playthrough because it was easier. But this is the thing about hardcore mode, is you kind of can't pass these checks until later because your skills are all just low and you need to roll higher. Which is really bad for me because I'm rolling garbage here.
It was clear just an hour. Sure, I'm done with it. Go easy on that stuff.
Okay, so we can go ahead and I think take the ammonia. I guess we just have to have it in our inventory. I actually equip the gloves here. And if I can get the corpse down, then I'm going to go ahead and call that the game for now.
There he still is. Looking
It's still
right
exactly the
through
same
you
percentage.
with his white eyes.
So one of the things
The
that we
body
could
below
potentially do is
entirely
actually go in
dedicated
here and
to that
increase
corpse
our
now.
skill.
Emitting it is all it does now.
So I could change it to a, I could change our endurance up to a 3, and then we'd have the plus ammonia, so it would be a 4. Which would mean that we'd pass on an 11, which is still kind of garbage. What we're more likely going to have to do is what I think is the default for this, which is get the ability called volumetric shit compressor, which is what gives you a plus 6 or something like that.
The ammonia only makes it worse. The second
I'm rolling absolutely just the worst here.
Done, your cheeks are wet with tears.
I wish I could roll some like numbers that are kind of okay here, but I haven't really passed any checks here.
Nor does the wind right now.
The weight is real.
I've seen strong men turn themselves inside out for hours. You are facing tough odds here. Alcohol withdrawal makes it considerably harder. I've seen captains puke their guts out. It never gets easier. You never get used to the smell. Every Monday, then drive to the station. Maybe throw up on the way there if you didn't bag the... I think I've lost my sense of smell.
A white lie.
Not being hungover helps too. That's probably a good idea. You need to get your shit together. We should go talk to the locals.
You've gained a thought.
Give it half an hour.
Okay, so this is the one that we can sort of do. This is, I think, how you're typically expected to beat this, but we take that, we internalize volumetric shit compressor, that takes half an hour. So you can spend this time like talking to Kuno or something like that. Or we could also spend the time like going through our inventory here. So we can go with our interactables. We could look at, well, we could look at this, for example.
It's just a racist. Oh boy, here we go. What are you going to say about a broken, tossed-away mug that you dug out of the garbage?
This mug is an example of prejudice. I'm going to use it as an example of what not to do.
But it was in the trash. Why not just call it out when you see it? Or do some volunteering work. Just finish your case, detective.
You're just role-playing as a complete failure. The funny thing is, the failure of every single check doesn't actually do much. Like, there are very few checks that actually impact the game in a serious way, which is really weird.
Found in the trash. A pitiful cabbage of white and yellow papers hanging from plastic board, barely held together by a metal clip. This sad display is made complete.
But it does make things take longer and makes things a bit more annoying. I'm not sure that I think that hardcore mode is actually more interesting than regular mode.
There's a piece of toilet paper, or it's a metaphor for you. Below the pathetics, terror. Do not look into its blue heart.
So this is a reference to where you're going to find the thing that you're not supposed to look at, and I actually probably don't want to look at that right now, but...
It's just toilet paper sticking to the back of the plastic clipboard. You can take it off if you're still wet. The toilet and aluminium block. The surface is interrupted by a silvery sticker. It's rectangular, sparkling with iridescence. You don't know how you didn't notice it.
That you can complete it regardless. This was actually a thing that I kind of wish, but also accept that they just can't really do. I wish that based on whether or not you passed certain things or failed at certain things, the ending was substantially more different. Like, if it was possible for you to just end up flubbing the case so badly that you just think it's someone, and you go with that and you arrest them, and the whole game doesn't ever tell you that it's not them. Like, for example, if you could sort of like pin the blame of the murder on Clasier, for example, if that's where your investigation ends up leading you.
What? That thing. It's
I think that would have made the game way more interesting.
To RCM property.
Oh yeah, the failures are also definitely way funnier. I think that I wish that the game didn't let you get the proper ending unless you passed certain checks and just gave you different endings. I think that would be kind of more interesting. I can also understand why that might be a bit frustrating. It would be good as well if you could get around that, not by just sort of automatically getting buy it like you do in this version, but by giving you alternatives to those checks or letting you redo certain checks in certain situations. But, you know, it really depends.
How many years you've been on the force?
Any capable light with the right wavelength.
So I can go use his car to read this thing.
You can read
okay.
While a bunch of sodden papers sag from the clipboard in your hand, it's a sorry sight. It's made of dark blue plastic.
Oh, right, I shouldn't do this yet.
To submission. U4 size, they're not exactly white. They're yellowed in patches by sunlight and alcohol, and covered in dense blue handwriting.
Basically asking for Shadows of Doubt. The Shadows of Doubt a game? I've never heard of that one.
Across entire pages. The paper itself is checkered.
Because if there's a game that does that, like, that would actually be really, really kind of neat. The thing about that is, like, it would be way harder, I think, for them to program, so I understand why they didn't do that.
Once in a while, there's a red stamp.
And, like, you can't just make it so you get stuck in the game like this either. Like, that wouldn't really be a functional game either.
The themselves are plenty. You count more than 100 sodden, crumpled up, earmarked pages falling apart in your hands. They appear to be sufficiently organized and extremely dense, if mostly illegible. Work, strife, poverty, the Jamrock Quarter. These are handwritten logs of investigations dating back to January 51, this year. The exact yes, it appears you employ a title, one might say even. One that draws inspiration from snoop fiction and vespertine.
A detective roguelite. That might be interesting for me to play then. I've never even heard of it, so... Yeah, like, just being able to screw up the case and never get told that you ended up getting the wrong person would actually make for a more interesting, I think, detective story.
Yes.
But like I said, this one's not really a true detective story in some ways.
Another, the square bullet hole murders. Another yet, the unsolvable case. Others appear more light-hearted. The guys on a couch.
Early access, that might be why I haven't heard of it yet.
The murder
might be one of those ones that hasn't really gotten a lot of attention because it's not available or it's not released yet.
Throughout. It's going to take an effort to piece these case files together, but it can be done.
You mean the alphanumeric? Officer, precinct, time of arrival at the scene? Oh, you mean the titular? Yes, well, so do I. In our defense, almost everyone in the RCM does.
Ah, God.
It's a holdover from the early days of the RCM. Right after the revolution, when the organization had little idea how to do things. It persists in an unofficial capacity. Officers use these titles to refer to their work among themselves.
The boring bits of detective work? Yeah, the paperwork, you have to, like, file all the stuff. That would be pretty good.
Again, in your defense, I seem to have named one the man with the hole in his head. That was a real person. His death was real. Still, I named it that, to amuse myself.
Sometimes you're literally just going... Do people still have phone books? Is that a thing? Are they real? Are phone books ever real?
His loved ones never find out. Rail spiked through the head. He died. It was a workplace accident.
There is, for precisely one more. 15 pages near the end remain untouched by the damage. The checkered grid forms a structure of passages, breaking the case into subtasks to accomplish.
You have to fill it and submit the paperwork. Yeah, that's the part that I would imagine would be most frustrating for a lot of people. Doing it properly would be the part that would screw me over. It's amazing to me that, like, a single case in this takes 15 pages from that ledger. That's actually a lot of paper for that. In that dystopian hellscape, they're definitely real and very appropriate. Oh, God. Okay, well...
Once all the tasks are accomplished, the case is complete. Sadly, the ledger only comes with an old, worn-down lead pencil. It will do, barely.
It's interesting when you have two things saying the same thing. That's a little bit odd, but... Kim, do you have a pen?
The lieutenant looks at his blue notebook. He is not really saying anything, just standing there, looking at them.
Fine, I'll just use this crappy pencil.
Absolutely motionless at first, then animated slowly, imperceptibly.
I understand Kim here.
Lieutenant
I also don't like sharing my pen.
His notes onto the paper with a brash free hand, uncannily similar to the rest of the letters. The wording comes easily. It's almost robotically simple, a language developed for mental rigor and simplicity. Inspect the victim's body. Interview the cafeteria manager. It's not exactly poetry, but poetry would be out of place. A satisfying slash sounds across the paper. You're done, it seems to say. Things to be done and things already done. The composition of reality. This is an extremely useful tool for a detective of the citizens' militia. Now...
No, actually. Any ideas?
Let's see here. I think that this one's actually kind of, I think this one's a reference to what they were originally going to call this game, but decided not to. This one's the one that probably would actually let me remember what the hell we're doing, so this is the one I'm going to pick. Because if I picked this, I would not know what the hell we're doing. If I chose this, I wouldn't know what the hell we're doing, so I'm just gonna say that.
That's great. That's actually what I was thinking too. The Hanged Man. Good, strong name. We have a very good name for the case now. I'm going to start calling it the Hanged Man. It's good we sorted this out.
You don't exactly close them, so much as distance yourself from the smelly papers.
Alright, let's see if I can friggin' pass anything here.
It's proving to be
harder
than expected. You just don't have the intellectual rigor to patch the quilt back together. Try again later.
Great. Let's check these
back,
ones.
You see thin, translucent
this one doesn't really tell me anything. These are just forms for like handing out tickets and stuff like that. They're not important.
You don't have to be an intellectual giant to do police work.
Yeah, no.
A monetary penalization, but
these ones are completely irrelevant. I don't think you can actually even use these.
Yes, all that remains. The rest of the stinking cellulose is much worse for wear.
Okay, so we'll put those away now. So what we can do next is we can go back to the car. Because that took up a lot of that time. And I might have to do a save scum for this next check, but
inside, you see a set of steering levers.
Kind of whatever, really.
All right, ready? I turn, you press start. It's next to the preheater.
The dashboard lights up with the lights unfold.
There you go.
Okay, so we can go over here now. Oops. I forgot, you don't actually have to click that, you just do this.
As you hold your ledger's clip under the headlamp, an iridescent hologram appears. A street grid and the veins of a great river. A familiar sensation washes over you.
There she is. Revachol West.
Around the borders of the watermark are dozens, no, hundreds of micro-perforations. The rectangular watermark is overlaid with the logo of the RCM, and yet the major arteries of Revachol are all recognizable. They shimmer in the Kanema's headlights. A rat brazenly darts past you and disappears amongst the stopped lorries. In the distance, a child somewhere shrieks. A woman reprimands her in a voice no quieter than the child's.
Ah, Martinez. Let me see. Right here. Oh yes. Coal City. Le Royaume. The burnt-out quarter.
There are many of them, and they are divided into 3 separate rows. The first row has 18 dots.
Okay, so we got volumetric shit compressor done, because that one's very fast.
Not bad for what? You don't even know what it means yet. The next is the longest. It runs all the way around the border, and then some. There are so many.
This would be so hard to count, like these little tiny dots.
More than 150, at least. Maybe even 200.
If you actually pass a check, you can know exactly how many there are.
The last row has 3 perforations. That's it.
Okay, so now we got derealization too.
Those are perforations. They represent your record as an officer of the RCM. They are your statistics, as it were. I should have guessed you'd keep a record. Officers often do.
So if you pass this stuff, I think...
Alpha
do I have the thing? I've also got Hobocop too.
Often do.
The first row represents your years of service. 18 years. Okay, not bad at all. What did you do before you volunteered?
Do you really think I have any
Fair
idea?
Point. Let's move on, shall we? This next row, the one that wraps all the way around, is your number of closed cases. Closed is good. It means finished. You've got, let's see, wow, more than 200. It's quite a lot, even for someone who's been on the force for nearly 2 decades. Usually, clearing more than 10 cases a year puts you in the 90th percentile of all RCM officers.
So you're saying all these are actually pretty good answers for this one. I kind of like all of them. I didn't choose this one before, so I'll try it this time.
You were a valuable member of your precinct. Now,
I like how
let's
he
look
also
at
uses the
last
past
row.
tense there.
Right. Those are your confirmed kills. You've got precisely 3 perforations there.
So I'm a killer, huh?
For an RCM officer, especially Precinct 41, which is in the Jamrock quarter, it's rather tame. I mean that in a good way. There are certain officers who treat their kills like some kind of ghoulish game. If they do happen to solve a case, it's usually by accident. But it seems as though you are, or at least were, one of the good ones. So we have that to be thankful for.
Have you ever killed anyone?
Yes. Everyone has their own method of coping. Some more effective, or self-destructive than others.
Definitely I choose the self-destructive ones, but
personally, I find it helps to keep up a few hobbies. Oh, this and that. Let's not get into it now.
His hobby is cars.
Why not gardening? You've already got...
It's meant in earnest. Please don't mistake it for a jab. The lieutenant nods.
Right. I'll go turn off the...
You can now see your...
Okay, so we can now see our stats. This is them telling us that we've completed these, so volumetric ship compressor. This lets us redo that check, and it also gives us a pretty high bonus to it, and increases our endurance learning cap. That's not important at all, so we will get rid of this eventually. Je me vu is an important one for a while. We get experience points for every orb that we click, and our intellect learning caps raised by 1. This one's actually really good. Having our learning caps raised is actually something that's quite strong. This one just gives us extra money from bottles, basically, and our learning cap for shivers is dramatically increased.
That would mean game over for the cop.
And we also get like to access more of that stuff. Okay, so at this point in time, now we just go around clicking on every single one of these stupid little dots, which just basically tells us very basic stuff about like what we're seeing around us. And every time we do that, we get like 1 little bit of experience points. But we don't really technically need that right now. So what I'm actually going to do is quick save here because like I really don't want to deal with the bullshit of like failing this stupid check again. Although, admittedly, if it's actually a difficult check, I might have something else to do instead, like, you know, just level the skill.
There he still is.
So now we're at 58%.
Right through you. As you breathe in, the odor comes over you. It's a smell of the mind.
But yeah, like a +6 is massive enough to really propel you into being able to pass these checks.
And your eyes squinting, you stand in it.
They do after 7 days, yes.
The man before you is naked, but for a pair of underpants and enameled boots. His skin is greenish, marbled with decaying veins, and blotched by lividity. A fading web of tattoos covers his chest and shoulders. The cargo belt used to fasten him to the branch above appears industrial in strength. The material appears to be ceramic. It's clean white.
So we can get some interesting stuff if we just go through everything fairly carefully here.
The man wore thick polymer socks, probably for padding. A fine array of interlocking plates covers them. Delicate and fragile, they feel alien to the world around you, out of place somehow. These are clearly not boots. They're armor, possibly part of a larger set.
Indeed. Technically speaking, these are sabatons, not boots. Ceramic plate. Zirconium dioxide, most likely. This is where the make would be. Under the heel. Fair weather. Fair weather model T500 VE. I'm guessing that's vitreous enamel. This is advanced stuff. Piece by piece. He's been out here for 7 days.
You can actually collect most of his armor. It's hard to find the last bit, but
we should keep a lookout
in that you can't get it until the game is over.
But armor could yield information. This is one thing he might actually know.
The sabatons dangle off the man's decaying form, ageless, and synthetic.
It is. It's expensive. We've requested similar material for our tactical units for years now. The constabularies deemed it too costly. In that time, we've lost 6 men to semi-automatics. For a full set, about 4 years of wages.
For the northwest region of Revachol, an officer's average yearly income is 5,500 real, unadjusted for rank.
Not too much, yes.
The lieutenant nods, wiping his finger on his sleeve.
That's for us to find out. Mr. Gart implied he was security personnel for the harbor company. This confirms my own assumptions. Just something I scraped together from my station. An area report on Martinez. I'm sure you did the same. I agree. This equipment is way beyond what a guard can afford.
A small bell-like sound fills the air, like tapping on the side of a porcelain cup.
It's anything but. This material is a kinetic redistributor. It spreads kinetic energy horizontally, from plate to plate, dissipating it entirely. See?
Faint, organic lines cover the plates, where they separate into smaller ones. These plates then divide into smaller plates, until there are hundreds of them altogether, like whirls of floorboards. The design looks organic, influenced by highly resistant wood materials, like lignum vitae and ebony perhaps. If trees were made of porcelain, this is what their cross-sections would look like. The smooth, glossy surface fractures into ever more intricate interconnections, peaking on the right sabaton, where you notice the whirls are in the shape of a letter and number combination: E50, 100, 1000.
Good. Can you read it to me?
I've had ones before where you're allowed to lie about this.
have a
I've never
making
done
number.
that, but it's kind of weird that that's a thing you can try
We
to
can
do.
use the radio in my kinema when we're done. Either station can chase it for us.
I'm pretty sure that we can't, and also I think it's irresponsible to try and remove something from the corpse before you've done the report.
The
So
cadaver slowly
we'll do that
twists
later
on the
potentially.
cargo belt. The hangman's knot is pulled tight by the weight of the corpse below. Yellow, hard-edged polyester cuts into his neck. Above, a sliding buckle ties the belt. This is a steel-reinforced cargo lashing belt, big brother of the regular cargo belt. It's used for tying cargo under 6-rotor airships.
Airlifting? I thought it was used on lorries for strapping cargo to them.
Apparently this is the reinforced kind for air transport. My brain tells me so.
The local harbor uses 6 rotors to shuffle containers around. I get the sense they use whatever was on hand, without paying much attention to not incriminating themselves.
We're assuming the dock workers from the harbor did it?
I'm still approaching this as a lynching, yes. Motivated by the ongoing strike. You?
I feel like it was something else.
Yes, it often is. This bell worries me. I was afraid it would be. Thin steel wiring, parallel strands. This makes getting him down more problematic than I had assumed. A noose is one of those things that's easier to use one way around.
What sort of irritates me about this section is like you can't just get a ladder from somebody.
I think they lassoed the branch, then pulled on the belt. Buckle closes. It's what I would do. Seems easier than climbing up there.
The cadaver hangs from the cargo belt, limbs limp and torso covered in tattoos. An intricate web of blue lines stretches across the torso.
So this guy has some unique
from the right shoulder to the solar
tattoos.
plexus.
I never really
Each
did
time
find out
they
exactly
intersect,
what this
a
means,
small
but
white
I've
star
found
is
roughly what
formed
it means.
In their crossing. Hundreds of fading asterisks riddle his skin. Their concentration is highest around his heart. His corpse is marked by stars, alcohol, and heartbreak.
So you can't really get the right answer here, but
A map
you can
of
just
the
do whichever.
stars. I do see some similarity to astronomical charts. Great Century Messinian, maybe. But this seems more particular. Customized somehow.
As if someone left out most of the night sky, filtering it through personal choice. The principle of this filter remains unknown.
So am I.
So here he takes like a picture of this.
Piece of milled.
A true get sunshine.
We can just let him take the picture.
An instant color camera. I have only 2 ampoules, so nobody move. I don't want to waste one.
A sound, a shrill flash, followed by the breaking of a small ampoule of glass.
It's kind of weird
You
how
see
the
streams of color pour onto the thick, glossy piece of paper.
I'm not sure how
rolling
like the
out.
actual photographs work as they're describing here, but there might be some old style like camera that works that way. I have no idea.
Yes, it is pretty cool, isn't it?
There is only one ampoule left. Use it.
It contains insight to the victim's person. By his build, I'd say this was a man of physical violence. The story he wanted his body to tell was important to him. It is his letter to us. Someone should decipher it. We'll need to show it around. Here, a souvenir. Don't lose it.
The glossy-eyed corpse looks by.
I don't know why he would think I'm a good person to give it to without losing something.
As the chemical rainbow on the photo paper, teeming with opportunistic organisms.
You'd think it would be sort of frozen, like that wouldn't be.
His
but
eyes
whatever.
are milky white, and blind, dark brown hair grows on his head.
You get to actually try
His
this one
face is
twice,
ready to
so it doesn't
explode
matter too
from
much
the
if you fail
organic
this one
processes
here. Oh, we got it. Okay.
Into the wild pale yonder. In the past.
I figured we'd just
way out
fail this
in
because
the
it's also
west.
kind of important to actually pass this one.
I'm a joke. Look at me. A killer. A motherfucker. And a killer. Go ahead, Coppo. What do you mean? It's the power of your imagination. Go ahead. Ask me more questions. You fucking love questions. Because you're a copperoonie. Look at all of them go. Do you want more questions?
Give me a comical amount of questions.
Coming right up, copperoonie, Rooney. This is getting upbeat now.
Is my name Rooney?
Fuck no. You're no Rooney.
Rooney is obviously not who I am.
Between you and me, your name is probably Harry.
No, it can't be Harry. I refuse.
Good for you.
Why do I feel like I've forgotten something terrible? Because I have.
Because you have.
I knew that answer before he told me the first time. Who killed you?
Love did me in, Brother Copo. It was love all along.
I'm not actually sure like how much of this actually is your imagination, because you're getting answers that are literally impossible for your brain to have the information to make up there. So I do think there is something else going on.
Sure, Lobo. I can ask you a question. Why are you doing this? Looking at my face, motionless. Looking into my eyes. Standing here. Why are you investigating my murder?
This is the one that I picked the first time. I think it's, the one that's the most strange.
Something is on its way. Something hidden. It's coming. A miracle from the northwest, and it's almost here. You can feel it in the air, on your hands. The cold spring air smoothing them over.
Come back later, Corpo. Amused.
Okay, so we
As
can
you narrow
try to
your
do
eye,
this. I
is
might
a
pass.
trick.
Yep,
You've
passed.
done it before. Pink is where the blood settled in the first hours post-mortem. You can use it to see if the corpse has been tampered with. Does his position at the time of death match the discoloration? Only the lower extremities are pink with a dash of blue. His fatted hands, thighs, and his neck, just above the noose. The rest of the corpse appears dark green in the cold spring air.
I see it. His neck too. The lividity goes right up his chin. We have good, well-pronounced discoloration here.
The monster comes back into focus, an explosion of color, coursing with dark marbled veins. His stomach appears pregnant with something. Black liquid streams down his thigh and onto his boot.
Gross.
So, what do you think? I agree.
His personality is no longer a part of the world.
Totally dead. Dabba-doob-doob dead.
Upright after death.
Agreed, especially on the neck. The belt acted like a tourniquet, keeping the blood in his head. The hypostasis supports a hanging. There's always a chance. We should check for ligament marks on his neck to see if they're in tune with the belt. We'll have to get him down first.
A pool of blood and feces has eaten into the frozen mud below the man's feet. Purge liquid is dripping into it, drop by drop.
The victim appears to have contained no more than half a kilogram of digestion at the time of death.
The fuck are you saying?
Talking about shit.
We got lucky.
I don't feel lucky.
You should always ignore those two, just pretty much 100% of the time.
I do. Most of them are post-mortem. Maybe even all of them.
Stop talking.
It means you fucked him up good, Kuno.
But there is no breath to catch. Only the cadaver filling the air.
Are you sure we finished the preliminary examination of the cadaver? We might miss some of these things.
The cadaver
Okay,
slowly
well, we can
twists
try
the material
doing...
delicate. These are clearly not boots. They're armor. Possibly.
Indeed, ceramic plate.
Go
Under
through
the
this. We can
This
try
feels
this.
Dangerous. Are you sure?
Yeah, I'm gonna hit better not to actually even try.
The cadaver slowly twists on the cargo belt. His torso.
I'm gonna do a quick save. I don't think that this is possible to actually do from here responsibly. How come I can't quick save here? Oh.
Mazovian socioeconomics.
So this basically makes it so I get 4 experience points every time I do something communist.
0% of communism has been built. Evil child-murdering billionaires still rule the world with a shit-eating grin. All he has managed
So we
to do
lose some
is make
stats here that are
himself
important.
sad.
-1
He has
visual
started
calculus
to
sucks,
suspect
-1 authority
Krasnov
sucks,
fucked him
but
over
+4 experience
personally
points.
with his socioeconomic
You want this
theory.
early.
It has, however.
By the way, we can also go ahead and click these. I'm just going to do an experiment here. I want to try doing the pull-off boots thing, even though I don't think it's a good idea. Now, we can also try this, but...
There are several footprints in the mud. Left every worker's... Isn't this something an industrial worker...
So we'll deal with that later.
The man before you...
Oops. What was that blue one? Hmm? Ah, okay. That was that. Okay.
The man before you is the material, delicate. These are clearly not.
Indeed, ceramic plate under the heel. Fair weather.
This feels... The stench feels...
Stop! Pig's gonna put...
Brutal!
You're about to pull his head.
Do it, homo!
Yes, that's what I said. What are you trying to achieve anyway? Why are you hanging on to that boot? How many clothes do you need? You already found... There's no way you're getting them off. All the organic matter in his body has been...
You're sure there's a way to peel them off. But first, the body needs to be down. The anticipation makes you crack your fingers.
Processing will take care of them.
The cadaver slowly twists on the cargo belt.
Okay, well, I guess that's not too bad. We can try this here.
Actually think the challenge is...
The cadaver is a good 1.2
Another skill
meters
points.
high. Neither one of us can reach the belt without assistance. And even if we do, there's the question of cutting the airship strength material.
Yeah! Bang bang time, pig! Shoot his head off!
Hey there, Kryptonite. How you doing?
How?
I didn't pass,
Yes, the buckle, where it ties the cargo belt to...
Yeah, now we're talking. Entertain a Kuno.
Alright, so we're gonna try and shoot down this thing. Our odds are low.
The pigs will miss Kuno.
I'll blow his head.
Take it!
Yeah, take the shot. Kuno wants some of that shit.
I've been ignoring those two, so them being around here is,
with his
you know,
elbow sharp, and produces a lightweight firearm. He drops a paper cartridge in the barrel.
the guns in this
separates
setting are
scouring
super
stick,
weird, and I'm not
gives the
entirely sure that
cartridge
people who made this know a lot
five
about
toss.
guns. Weather here's not nice, but I don't mind that. It's raining where I am, but that's a good thing, honestly. Doing pretty well otherwise. Got turkey. We've got turkey soup on the pot.
Securing it in place. That's a Kiel A9090 armistice.
Probably going to actually just get the body out of the tree, like I said, and then call that this game for now.
In the world.
I'm hoping that I'm gonna check actually because I might be doing horror games next week. I might be doing Amnesia: The Bunker. I want to finish on Halloween, but we'll find out how long that's supposed to take.
And assumes the fellow's desk position, taking aim. The corner of his eye twitches. His finger is on the trigger.
He's gonna fucking miss!
The kid's voice is drowned in a shrill blast that echoes off the walls.
I do wonder what ends up happening to that bullet.
A cloud of smoke slowly parts in the air as the lieutenant steps back and says to himself,
God damn it.
Fucking idiot! Mukabat asshole!
Kuno could have hit it easy, but then Kuno's not fucking handicapped, is he? Kuno's sorry too. Kuno feels sorry for the Beano class.
The lieutenant doesn't say a word.
No, we are lucky as it is. We didn't break any more mistakes could put us in an I have to say, it's beginning to...
I'm gonna try, but...
Go ahead. I'm not...
This is the sorry...
Yeah, take it, you fucking banana!
The cold piece of...
The fuck are you waiting for, Kuno?
The buckle comes into focus in your sight.
Why don't you just shoot
Okay, let's see what our odds are. It's 28%.
Your field of view narrows. The branch slowly moves.
Look, he's crying. You gonna cry now?
Sometimes that increases my bonus there, but sometimes it doesn't. I'm not too sure why. I have got a save before this. I'm gonna potentially run this with save scum. Oh well, we got it. I like to save my levels for these red checks.
Explodes into tiny pieces. With your hand numb from the recoil, you look at the body slump down. For a moment, the man appears to kneel in front of you, looking straight at you, helpless, trapped within itself.
Communism.
It takes a millisecond for the association to flash within your cortex. You have no idea where it's coming from, only that it's right.
This one, like I said, is a weird one because it's no way that you could actually know that answer.
Then the rigor in his muscle
and it is true.
Gives up, and he smashes sideways into the spring mud, letting out a horrid stench.
Ace is high.
Oh man, do I want to actually just increase this? I might be able to pass this without having to.
The ace is high, a custom invented by the aerostatic brigades during the revolution, is used.
It's really hard to decide what to spec into. It is, yeah. You always miss out on something. I kind of wish that the game let you on New Game Plus just max out all your stats so you get to see all of the dialogue basically, and then you could just always do another run with like all ones or something so you see all the failure dialogue. But I'm hoping I can do the oh my god.
The lieutenant takes a little hop to perform the customary salutation.
I knew these guys were...
Just ignore them. I like how it's approving. He's like, yeah, you guys should be. That's good. That's a really weird thing. I know there's if you have a high enough interface and you can also get aces low, which is the second part of that, but
we
whatever.
will perform a field autopsy and determine the cause of death. It looks like I feel like taking a break from the stench. I'm sorry to interrupt the jubilations here. Just in the meantime, we should try to interview... I would also suggest we interview Joyce, the Wild Pines representative. But we've already done that, so good for us. Yes.
Okay, so we've got that done. He's there. We could technically go do this right away, but, you know, we could also go talk to the other people. It would be kind of nice to get this one done. It's not super important, though. If I recall, the solutions bonus is mostly just, like, empathy towards Kim, which is good to have, but, like, you don't really need it. Most of the time, it's just, you know, you've kind of already got enough of that kind of thing going on. What I kind of want to do is actually run around and pick up all these little green orbs that we didn't, because each of these is like 1 experience point. So are all the orange, yellow ones, the red ones, the blue ones. They're all this sort of like worth experience points. And if we can get sort of all those done, we might get a level. and then we can use that to sort of like be better at a thing. Specifically, I wouldn't mind going into the corpse investigation with a higher perception, so I can try and get the bullet out on my first go. Because I did actually like have to put the corpse in the fridge before I was able to find that in my previous playthrough, but got this little bug here. There we go. Could also talk to her and be very communist about it and get like 4 experience points off of that. Just basically doing that over and over again just gets me a lot of experience points really, really quickly. That's what we're trying to do. I honestly wouldn't mind talking to some other people again, but I didn't get the internal thought about I need to do karaoke, which is interesting. Thought you always got that one. I also didn't get the internal thing where it's like, hey, you should drink that.
You see a heavy steel door with a prominent dimple lock. It's painted blue.
Is there a setting that keeps the halo around my head? No, it's a bug. It goes away when I do some other stuff.
To the color. Blue. The cobalt blue surface feels old cobalt paint, rough on the fingers. 40, 50, the door does not budge.
You do? It's a door in the back of the kitchen. Why do you care where it leads? Yes, I suppose it's worth seeing if we can get in. Just to be thorough, as a side investigation. If you say so.
I have an insistence the first time around that all the things have everything to do with the door, so, you know.
He nods toward the table and says,
you never experienced that bug? I have.
A
couple times.
The only words you can make out are Garancy and Kubek. Okay, it's definitely not his name. Whatever you do, please don't call him Garancy Kubek. Please. It's not funny. The man puts his cup down and replies something, his left hand drawing arcs in the air. He looks up at you, then looks away quickly, shrugging and muttering
I like how it lists his name as the thing that you're not supposed to call him.
Shrugging is an international sign for, no, I don't know what's behind that door. He smiles and bangs his ladle against each of his pots in turn. It's almost like music, especially with the sounds of assorted dishes boiled.
Okay. I'm surprised that didn't go away after talking there. Okay, let's just talk to Gart and be like, hey, there's a mysterious door there.
Can I help you? What thing? Oh, yes, that door, sure. There's nothing mysterious about it. It's just a door. No, I don't have a key. I don't know how to get there. And I don't care either. It's not like I've been wondering about it for 10 years. It's just a frick warehouse, probably.
He has been wondering about it for 10 years.
Or some boring storage space with a bunch of old junk and dust. Junk and dust.
He's attempting to maintain an air of indifference. It's absolutely not convincing.
Obviously he wants to know what's in there.
Fine, okay, a little. But my job doesn't leave me time for wondering about one locked door in one of the cafeterias I manage. So I haven't opened it. I have cleaned the whole place 100 times over, though, after the animals. And I haven't found a key, so good luck with that. Yes, not the whole damn union, thank God. Just the nastiest and loudest faction. They come here in the evenings. Dumb, unruly types. Think they're big shit. But they're good customers. They place big orders and always pay on time.
To want to know what's in there is to be human? Yes, that is definitely
we should
true.
Find out who this loud faction is, occupying the booth. Loudness means talkative, and we need info. We don't. We have to wait. They'll show up sooner or later.
There are these things called days. You sleep between them. He's saying they'll come after you've slept.
What?
Okay, great.
By the way, you should come back to...
How come I can't get the thought, though, for... is this it?
You should totally sing karaoke.
There we go.
The first chance you get. Your emotions need to be expressed. People need to know your vast, oceanic soul.
My soul's cubic content is obscured by the hangover.
Of course. At this point, precise measurements of your soul can only be performed from the outside. It needs to be heard. Through a PA system. By other people.
Inland Empire is being slightly more insane than it usually is, but,
You should sing the sad small church song from that tape you found. Thought it was obvious. Serves them right. Wipe that smirk off their face with your sad, tragic song. Who's laughing now? No one.
Logic sure is smart. My logic is not very good in this game sometimes. It could be higher.
You would need another copy of the tape first, though. The one upstairs is destroyed.
I didn't actually get that dialogue that told me the name of that song. It's like the smallest church in St. Sam's or something like that. Here's where I can get electrochemistry to tell me to kill myself.
That sugary black rum stain on the counter makes you teary-eyed with joy. It's almost touching our syrupy... Oh, excuse me. Do you have something better to do than lust for sweet syrupy rum and lemonade? With a twist of lemon? Maybe lime. Maybe who cares? Just rum.
I beat the game last time. This is on hardcore mode. But the thing is, I actually solved the crime on day 4 before I could do a bunch of the stuff that was supposed to come up. Like, I finished the talk with, like, Ruby, and that sort of locks you into a certain path where you can no longer do a bunch of side quests that you wanted to finish that only show up at night, and I didn't know that I wouldn't be able to do them during that evening. Because I wasn't sure, I didn't know how the game's timing or pacing happened. But apparently what I could have done is just literally finish off everything that night and just talk to Ruby the day after. Or even the day after that, as far as I know. So that would have let me get that sort of quest done. So I've beaten the game. I got a pretty good ending, I think. I actually don't know the differences between the different endings. Oh, that went away finally. I don't know all the differences for all the different endings, but the one I got I think was pretty good. But yeah, I missed a lot of important content that I think would have told me important things, so that's why I'm replaying this on hardcore mode. If I had thought that I had actually gotten everything out of it, I wouldn't really probably be playing this right now. But I also haven't played it on the other ideologies. I've only played this on the one that I'm sort of on now. It's just I didn't finish that thing, so now I have to do it all from the beginning again because my autosaves sort of... I was running on autosaves. I didn't really save scum anything. The island is actually really short. You really much could have just easily done it in like half an hour, probably. I think is all it takes. But the island quest is how you finish the game, basically. By the time you're in there, you've like locked into the ending of the game. Yes, I did get the photo. Unless you're talking about a different photo of a different Redacted, but I suspect that, you know, the photo of Redacted is the one that I probably got. I don't know enough about the game to know if there's more than one of those sort of things. I kind of feel like given how they treat you at the end, if you don't have that, you have a much worse time with the ending. Quest with the music. I didn't do that one. I didn't finish the one with the music, no. That was one of the ones where I was supposed to be doing it, but like the game locked me out before I could finish it. Because, again, like, I kind of screwed that up. Okay, let's see here. Well, like I said, I was actually going to stop playing this once I got the body down, and I have definitively gotten the body down at this point in time. most of the stuff, like, I'm not really bothering reading these because most of it is actually fairly evidenced by, like, looking at the screen. So these are observations your character is having, but they're also, like, just observations you as a person looking at the screen could have. It's like, here's some magazines, you know. Don't really need to go over them. This is Fritz. Some change here. Yeah, so the nightclub thing is actually something I really want to do on this playthrough again, because, like, I got it set up. I got it so that they were going to do that, but then I just never did. But it'd be nice to see how that goes. Given what I know about the ending, though, like, the photo that you're probably talking about, since I only have one ampule left, I actually probably don't want to get that photo. Because you want to get the other photo from, you know, the one that I got. Just stealing people's money here. Okay. I could spend like 50 minutes listening to Encyclopedia on that thing. I'll save that for later. It's nice to actually keep those, because if you've got a bunch of dialogue that you just haven't really gotten rid of, you can actually just waste time later on. Oh, what's this? 3 T's, how idiomatic. That must be about the Fritz.
Scab? You're hazy on the notion of a scab. Smells like politics, though. Maybe it's got something to do with the flask he reaches for from time to time.
I was just messing with you. No one's ever seen a cop scab. Imagine, you cops going on a strike, but then another cop comes in and says, let us cop for less money.
So, yeah, the photo at the very end of the game, it's not more important than the murder case, because depending on, well, I guess it depends on the results of your checks, but the checks that I got, you actually sort of realize that the checks there tie into the motives of the murder case. So it actually is part of the murder case.
Here, to the wild
which
north.
is weird,
Come
but
see the
it's
strike?
also one of the reasons why I don't think this game's a very good detective game, because there's no way in hell you could have ever guessed that from the hints that you're given prior. So, you know.
Sure thing, my friend. I can help you out.
The coin lands into your hand as if it has always belonged there. The swallow returns.
Always glad to help out the RCM. Shame I can't do more. You know, the winter's fat is slowly running out and all. Still better than scabbing, though. I'm always glad to help out when possible. Not like these slithering scabs. Oh. Good,
Okay.
good. What matters do you want to discuss with Everard?
Well, let's see here. Just any of these is fine.
Everard's got a lot of knowledge about a lot of things, eh? Doesn't often dole it out, though. But sure, why not?
You also think that the big friend is more important? Yes, that is probably true.
I don't operate in that capacity. I'm not a granter of passage. The passage grants itself.
If it's all so simple, why?
Aye. Walk right past Measurehead and go in. Yeah, the 2.5-meter tall Semini Supremus is there. Walk right past him.
Right.
Then press the button to unlock the door. Then go past him again. And you enter the arbor through the office. Está.
So you're saying it's actually quite difficult.
Don't worry, I'm sure it's not completely impossible. For example, you could best Measurehead in a physical confrontation, or you could convert to a Semini Supremacist worldview. Or, maybe it actually is completely impossible.
Got it.
Sure.
Great. So we can actually just leave here. This guy's, you know, friendly enough, but anyway, let's go ahead and quick save the game, and I'm going to start playing a different game. Like I said, you know, now that I got the corpse out of the thing there, we're gonna go ahead and swap. I'm gonna do... What I kind of want to do is start playing horror games, because it's October, but I don't think that Amnesia Bunker is actually long enough for me to want to start playing that right now. So I'm just gonna play some Darktide because I really like that, and you know, I'm trying to figure out everything to do with like the new update because there's actually a lot that's changed. Yeah, one of the things that I kind of regret is that you can't like see what Lena and whatever his name, their reaction to you finding that gigantic thing is, because like they would be seeing their response to that would be really interesting. Okay. The other thing I have to do, like, once I've actually done this playthrough, I kind of want to play through the other political spectrums. But I don't know that I want to play through the whole game. Like, it's a long enough game that it's repetitive enough and it's long enough that I don't know that I want to. It's hard to say. It's hard to say. I think if you just skip all the dialogue that you can sort of get through it pretty quickly, but you're kind of missing the point at that time. I think at that point you may as well just not bother and just watch it on YouTube. I had another friend play through it and he did the ultra-liberal ending. Okay, so I can close this now. I'm actually also considering turning off hardcore mode because I don't think it adds anything. Seems like the kind of... Here's the thing, like, I have actually seen a full playthrough of Disco Elysium, but I saw it like 2-3 years ago. So, legitimately, that is probably actually right. Like, once you've been able to forget everything that's already happened, like, it does actually make it better. Although I actually have a fairly decent memory for mystery stuff, so I would remember a lot of the stuff. I don't think that that would work very well. The only reason it works for me is, like, when I watch YouTube videos, I'm not actually watching them. I'm listening to them talking about it in the background, so my knowledge of what was actually happening is pretty bad. But even so, there was a bunch of stuff that I remember, and it's interesting because I didn't get those same options. Like, I played a very different character in a very different playthrough, so it ended up still being kind of interesting. But there's enough overlap. There are lots of moments where I just was not that excited about, but there's kind of a mix of different things going on there. Yeah, so the game, they've added a lot of depth to Darktide, so that's why I'm playing it a lot right now. And a lot of it has to do with me trying to figure out like what exactly works and what doesn't. The thing that is a bit of a problem is I don't think that there's really amazing off-meta ways to play certain weapons. Yeah, that's true. Like, if I'm older, then I've got a different perspective on it. That does make a difference there. I'm old enough that that doesn't really happen that quickly anymore, I guess. I don't know. What do I want to try running here? What kind of guns have I not really tried much? I haven't really tried much of the auto guns. I wonder if the Vrax auto gun is any good at this point. This thing was kind of garbage earlier. It still might be. These things have bad reload speed. I probably need the crack grenade. These things chew through ammo quite quickly. I'm thinking this is probably a decent gun for this style of thing. So we go down this path here. I don't know if opening salvo would be any good, so I'm going to take Killzone, Executioners, Relentless, and Counterfire. And I think we go down this path here, down to Marksman. We aren't going to be doing the Deadshot, so we have to go down Exhilarating Takedown. That makes us tougher as well. We definitely aren't taking Shock Trooper. Yeah. I don't know. I'll try rereading some books, but like I haven't actually reread a book where I actually felt majorly different about it in quite a while. Most of the time I read a book, I've had a similar view of it lately. It's I have a very good memory for books, is the problem. So books that I've read like ages and ages and ages ago, I still remember a lot of the details from them. So I don't get that sort of thing going on here in the same way, which is unfortunate, but you know. I would love it if I could afford to get a single extra point so I could take tactical awareness, so I could get my super back up more quickly. But this thing, Executioner Stance, really just does not work without that. I do need the grenade stockpile. I could probably get rid of tactical reload and Vanguard. So that's probably the price I would choose to pay here to get that. And then I probably want to have Superiority Complex. I think that's going to be the best choice there. So my reload's going to be a little bit more scuffed, but I should be able to get more quick kills there. Yeah, I think like when I want to reread a book and it's like been a long time since I've read it and all that other sort of stuff there. Oh, this is going to be a little bit too rough for me right now. I'm going to go with this one. This is an easy one, but I need books. I think it'll be a little bit longer than that for me to forget everything that happens in Disco Elysium, especially because I think it's a fairly memorable game to play through. So I think it's harder to go back to it and forget what you've done. Especially if you... This is a TF2... It's not, unfortunately, a TF2 one. This is... I'm running by myself, but it is a multiplayer game, and these are real people. So it is a multiplayer game. It's like Left 4 Dead, is what I would compare it to, not TF2. I really like this one because, like, your team doesn't have to be good or anything like that. You can sort of clutch out a game by yourself if you're good enough. But so you don't have to play with a pre-made team of, like, excellent players or whatever. You can just run in there with whatever the hell. But I also like playing it with my friends. My friends can't keep up with me a lot of the time, so it's kind of whatever, but... yeah, it's basically just a Warhammer 40,000 game where you're playing, like, as a decrepit piece of crap who's gets sent on death missions into horrible places where you basically kill endless hordes of zombies. Like I said, it's a Left 4 Dead style game, so, you know, zombie horde shooter. That guy is way faster than I am.
If I heard Ranning right, this manufactory provides weapons for half the subsector.
Nope, that is real players, but it is fake chat. Like, our characters all automatically say stuff, even if we don't do anything. And there's a lot of context-based lines as well. So, it's fake lines, but it is real people. The team's kind of already getting rumbled, which is kind of depressing. I can't get a shot on that guy.
My dream, my rules, my shield.
Gun I brought is like not... Oh, the chatting on the left? The chatting on the left, like the text chat, is from real people, yeah. Like, I could write in there if I wanted to. I don't really want to right now, but... Man. gun I'm using I'm not very used to, so I thought I'd be able to get the kill faster than I could. That would have stopped me from getting netted, but, you know.
It would be best if you stayed.
Similar to Left 4 Dead as well, like, these missions are not, like, individually that interesting. They're more like, you just run the same sort of set of core missions over and over again. They have some randomization between them. Is Kane ahead of us, or is he behind us? I feel like he's behind us. Alright.
I wish I could shoot like that.
Alright.
May be unaware of Tertium's thriving liturgical
I do hear a demon host, which is that sort of thing that's whispering in the background.
Please tell me that's not the demon host.
It is a demon host. It's also a... Plague Ogre over here. Ouch. I didn't think that could one-shot me. Oh well.
Time to be stoic, veteran.
Okay, apparently my team's just not gonna help me. Cool.
Hello? Still bleeding out over here.
Oh well. Just get picked up later, it's fine.
That Melt fellow has all kinds of things hidden in his brain.
And yet, he clings to the trappings of his lost power.
His knowledge must be valuable to Grendel, or he wouldn't be.
Well, there's a lot of stuff around me. Yeah, so I'm guessing you mean the stuff over here. Yeah, it's not generated by the game. It's only if people like actually rate it. Team might get wiped here. Yep. Because I don't think this guy knows how to like get people back up. He might be able to kill all these guys with lightning. Possible. No, he's dead.
Requesting help.
Yep.
No, please, someone help!
I'm gonna try adjusting some parts of this gun. Because it's obviously not very good. Like, I kind of knew that. Which is why I don't usually use it. But, like, the degree to which it's not very good is kind of actually offensive. Usually I prefer, like, things that can have either really good one-shot potential or have really high rate of fire. This doesn't have either. This has sort of a semi-automatic rate of fire, which is decent, but not amazing. It's accurate, but not one-shot accurate. Like, it doesn't get a headshot and instantly kill something. So it's kind of supposed to be in between a whole bunch of different stats, and I don't really personally like that. I don't think this is a game where all-rounder type weapons are really the best option, but there might be some blessing or something like that that can push it into a really good category. Like, I don't know. We could refine it to get something else here. I don't know how much I think that this one would be worse, so I think we keep that as is. We might want weak spot damage. So I think we try that. Range weak spot damage. And then we might want to swap the blessing here. These are actually not bad, though. This one would probably be better with what we're doing, so we're going to switch this to deadly accurate. So if we get a critical that's a weak spot hit, we basically like do double damage over what that would already be, which is already like a lot higher. So let's try this setup and see if that makes a difference. Still going to go for something that's got books, but I don't see very many. Oh boy. Alright, why not? Alright, I'm going to get wrecked. Unless this is actually a really, really good gun setup, like, this is going to just result in me getting killed, so... But, yeah, part of this is, like, experimenting with all the different weapons and trying to figure out different builds with those weapons and figuring out, like, what makes them good and what makes them bad. I feel as though this one's going to be just a weapon that is not really that great. It's just, its stats are sort of, like, just in the wrong spots. Unfortunately, we don't have a Psyker here. Psyker is actually always really, really nice to have, but we have got an Ogre and they can do some crowd control. Another thing that seems to be good about this gun is it does seem ammo efficient, so I can fire off a lot of shots before I have to reload and stuff like that. So there is that going for it. Could also be that I need to switch up the weapon that I take with this to the melee weapon. Sometimes having like a specific melee weapon with a gun covers for the weaknesses, but this one has so many weaknesses that it's hard to imagine what melee weapon would fix all of that. Maybe the chainsword?
Getting to the complex means accessing the hangar ventilation system.
Let none but the unholy dynasty!
I don't know if I've got enough crit on this to make this work. Because it's not like my crit rate is all that high.
Get security bypassed and press on into the consulate.
Reload speed's not too bad on this, actually. Flames are really wrecking my style here. God damn it.
Hell yeah.
I will repay this place.
Thank you. No more heretic grenades. Ammo. Stop,
can't see shit through these flames here.
See them! Shoot them!
All I can really do is keep that guy stun locked while killing off the chaff. Where'd that come from?
Good friends. No longer.
Oh, this has been a rough opening, but on this difficulty, I'm not surprised.
Right, cozy little place this is. Who the hell lives here by choice? Not of you we get to see that often. I'm not sure about all that sunshine line.
I guess I'm taking this one.
The higher you go, the better it is.
You can aim after all. Go! Grenade!
Grenade swarm incoming!
Ow, that's from behind? Ouch.
Neutralize!
Trading through these guys is going to give us more space to get through everything else, so it is still important, but holy jeez. What the? I'm not actually sure what killed me. Because I had, like, half health, which is not very much, but, like... I might have got hit by a burster? I don't think so.
Later, big man!
Yeah, I definitely don't think that this gun, I don't think I've got this gun tuned properly. It might need more crits added to it, but... See, they've got the 3-round burst version of this, and it's a much more efficient weapon in a lot of ways.
Easy. I'm not made of stone.
I am also having that problem that you run into of people, like, just walking directly in front of my sight lines, but, you know, I'm doing that to other people too, it's fine. Man. This gun is rough to use.
Glory be! A med station! Helipad! Trust to the beneficent Emperor. Ammo!
No way back up. Fracking
Watch it! Rains on me!
Get the ventilation access powered up. Smartly now.
This section you probably go melee anyway. Jeez.
Keep going! Need to!
God, yeah, no, I'm doing terribly. I can't use the gun that I'm trying to use here. It just doesn't work very well.
Still need a hand here!
Never forget. Never forgive.
Sniper!
Goddamn, yeah, just dead. It's me again, too. I need to switch out the weapons here. I think I need to use, like, a safety thing, because, like, this doesn't really work for what I want it to. Part of that's because of the level, part of that's because of the difficulty. Like, I want to be able to, like, stand off at range and shoot people. But I can't. Like, I'm consistently stuck in melee. Which, like, I don't want to be. Jeez. I could probably use the parry better on this. I'm not used to using it because it wasn't very good previously. I think that they've improved it though. This gun does not very much damage. There's a lot of friggin' hounds. Alright.
Not a bad shot, not at all. Yes!
Better just join up with these guys. I'm not sure why they're up here, but... Alright, I'm getting a little bit more into the tune of this thing, but, like, man. I just had to keep him distracted until that thing blew him up. Oh god. This is a level I've never been, like, I've never really liked, because it's always been rough. Ow, behind me. Wow. That goes out a window, I'm so... This has been not a great run for me, but at the same time... Sniper. Let's just leave. I'm starting to get more and more into this, but like... Just gonna take advantage of these brief moments where it's like... I could get out of here without the flames.
Copy that! Another good
Getting a little bit more into the groove of using this stupid thing, but like, holy jeez. What is marking me about this, like, it is seeming good about this, is actually just how it is ammo efficient. Oh, we got sniped again there.
Nicely done, Ogrin.
This section, which I'm able to do a bit more shooting gallery stuff, is like a little bit better.
Let's the bomber out of our bases. Look at that cellar go.
Yeesh. They really need you to earn your goddamn ground in this. Okay.
Is this it? Or is that wrong?
Blessed throne! Foxbuster!
Destroy the demonic ropes and you should have yourselves a bridge.
God damn it.
Prepping counter-strike.
You're a real mess, Priest. Barrel's gonna blow!
Medicate station!
Heads up! Oxbuster!
Kill the sniper!
Can't see shit. Oh boy. Okay. I'm kind of surprised I'm not dead right now, but at the same time, whatever. Oh, this is the worst part of this. Okay. Shit. I'm dead. I feel like this is one of the ones where, like, I really wish there was just a Medicaid just before this section, but... because this section is brutal.
Don't you dare let
Like, this is the situation I'm in most of the time when I'm in trouble. It's like completely surrounded by melee, and I can't get out. Oh god.
I'm reloading! Show me how to do that! Ammo!
Haven't had a chance to reload like this entire time. Ugh. Ugh. Can't even write that. Yeah, I need to probably adjust the crit rate on this, I think, to make it okay. And even then, I'm still probably not going to think it's good. It runs into this interesting problem of it's not got high enough damage when I'm doing it this way. I'm wondering how much extra crit I can put into this build, though. The other thing is, like, if I'm running that style of mission, I clearly can't be relying on those sort of headshots, which is kind of garbage, because that's sort of the point of the damn things. What did I get here? This thing. Okay, I can get plus 90% target stagger on weak spot hit. That's actually really garbage, but it's a tier 4, so I'm just going to throw it into the blender of things I'm allowed to put on my weapons now.
Let the work begin.
I could change it so that this thing's got more crit rate, which is probably what I need, but I can't have that the way that I would want to. So I'd probably go for crit rate over here. Not reblast, refine. It's only 5% increase, though. I think I have to get the stacking crit rate from, like, headshots, and then that leads into more crits, but... Ugh. The gun also comes back on target, like, fairly slowly, which I don't really think is good, but... Grimoires. This is only difficulty 2 Grimoires. How many more do I need? Typically speaking, I just sort of go for grimoires and scriptures and missions where it's like, I need to do it for this.
Stand ready. What do you need?
So I just have to complete one more mission, but I have to get, like, 9 more grimoires or scriptures, so it's a lot. Okay, so what I am going to try and do here... Well, I'll try it with this one more time. I think that mission's just particularly atrociously bad for this, but a lot of the missions now, it's harder to stay at long range. So, there's that. Consignment Yard's pretty okay for long range builds. What I know is I'm not super happy with, like, the way that Executioner stance works compared to the other ones, but, like,
There's a supply train down in Metal Fab 36. Rannick wants us to go get it. You'll need to get down to the consignment yard, secure it, and hold position until reinforcements arrive. The heretics want the train for themselves, so expect heavy resistance.
Yeah, so the problem with this gun is it needs to get repeated headshot hits, but I have to, like, take a long time between each shot before I line up another headshot. Which means I sort of have, like, diminished ability to get those headshot criticals like I want to. I also don't have as much control of that as compared to the Lucius Hellebore, which also does more damage. The advantage of this is it's more mobile and its hip fire is substantially better.
Primary function, weapons manufacture. Stop shot runner!
You'll need your depth interrogation for this. Access between the production nexus and coolant control is currently sealed.
Ready for war! Busy place, ain't he? Hostile! Copy that!
Really?
Squad up! Well, that's it to me.
Man, these guys hit hard on this difficulty. Just regular dudes.
Sighting in! Black Swan Ranger! You want the piece of me? Crusher! Copy that! Reminds me of that time at Relay Obscurum. Losing a lot of blood.
I was looking at the timing of that. I was hoping he'd swing while I was still doing the first part of that, but... Just gonna take the ammo. The fog is actually surprisingly thicker than I thought it was on this one. Where's that sniper, I wonder?
I hear a hound! Sniper is gone, comrades!
Cool. I have to get used to getting consistent headshots with this stupid thing. All the sights in this game like are different enough that you sort of have to adjust to them. Which is kind of cool, but also kind of lame. It makes it hard to like switch back and forth.
Don't feel right without a cold.
That's right. Through the welcome cloister. Don't let the heretics slow you.
Hey! Need Medicaid. Medicaid, at last.
Ah, dead.
Grenade down! Right!
Ugh. I should have just used the Medicaid. This is why I was saying I kind of need to switch off the super that I'm using to get out of those sort of bad situations. The problem that I'm sort of running into is like I can't be near the front because my teammates keep running in front of me, so I can't see shit. So I can't use my range attacks. Who's alive? Anyone? No one. Okay. Yeah, I can't use my ranged attacks because like people keep running in front of my sight lines, and if I'm running in front of them, I just get killed. So, like, I have to be behind my team, or I have to be able to survive. One of those two. And if I'm behind my team, that means I'm doing the rearguard thing of trying to kill all those stuff that's trickling in behind us that everyone else is ignoring, because, like, otherwise I just get stabbed in the back and die. Like, that's happened a bunch of times. That always happens a bunch of times. But, like, what I should be trying to do is stay middle of the pack, but that doesn't work because I can't aim that way. I have to be able to rush up to the front and fire shots. But to do that effectively, I need to be able to like use either the stealth or I need to use the other thing. I'm gonna try this one more time. Like again, if I can get the super down and get a lot of good headshot kills, then it works. If I can't do that, then it doesn't. Let's try this. Let's try this type again. Exact same one. This time I don't have an Ogryn standing in front of me, but I'll still probably have some of the problems there. They've got a sail and lightning, so lightning and the blocker thing is actually really good here.
Riot's got a new job for you. Secure a supply train in Metal Fab 36.
I really don't think that this gun is good. I'm like that's the conclusion I'm reaching, and I kind of already figured that.
Just need to secure the consignment yard. We need these supplies. So Emperor won't.
The Mark 9 is probably still going to be worse, but I'll have to try that. Maybe they fixed it. It used to be that because it fired these 2-round bursts, but the bursts were spaced out enough that the recoil would kick in between each of them. Your shots actually ended up in completely different spots. So it's not really a burst fire, it's not doing what a burst fire is supposed to do. The point of a burst fire is they're supposed to cluster the shots together.
We
are all part of the Omnissiah's great.
I don't use my super enough. Like, that's also a problem that I run into. Like, I just need to use it more often with this one.
Well, I call dibs on any decent guns lying around.
This place keeps the war zones fed with the tools of war. It fails, we lose. Simple.
The vent system's not working right. The air's safe to breathe, but that's about all I can say.
No, beloved. I don't think we should breathe too much of it in.
Going the right way.
So, like, how is it that I'm the one getting attacked there and just everybody else is getting walked past?
I've seen worse, roughneck.
God. Okay.
Placille!
People keep telling me I'm creepy. You don't think I'm creepy, do ya?
Absolutely do.
Greg, oh, will you put that out? I don't want to talk about the past. I just want to kill heretics, got it? I said I don't want to talk about it.
You like?
So there we got, like, that headshot critical, and it, like, instantly killed them, but it's just rare to get those with this gun.
Get through the workers' cloister as fast as you can.
Oh, thank goodness!
They will find you anyway.
I've definitely been able to like do more shooting this round instead of having to like melee as much. We haven't been getting hit by as many like big bullshit hordes though. Yeah, this comes back up off cooldown like fast, so I need to be using it more. Way, way, way more aggressively. I'll take a small ammo.
Medication!
That electricity helps out a lot. Just keep them stun locked so I can get shots. I think I missed these. It's moving too erratically for me. I think I got it this time. That was a really tough chaos spawn for some damn reason.
Try not to sound too pleased, veteran.
Okay. Yeah, if this thing doesn't get a headshot, no damage basically. It's like 0.
I can see you.
One-way trip coming up.
Start
data stream. Acceptable quality.
Stop, Gunnar!
Connection failure. Error.
I'll wait for that fire to go out again.
Investigate. Redress. You have successfully reconnected. Now maintain connection.
Oh! I think I inhaled some of it!
This distance?
Interrogator refuses to work. Commence.
It's an upstairs interrogator, so.
I hope you're taking notes.
System is green. Uplink resumed. As you were.
Gunnar, let's go!
Scab shotgun air!
It's the fraction of my pay! Feral beast, somewhere close. I don't think it's there now.
Data interrogation successful.
Alright.
All right. Move on to the consignment yard via coolant control.
Heard someone saying Greg Gunner, but I can't see one. Alright, I used a lot of ammo there. I'm gonna take the big one. I don't mind.
Gonna bother someone else, neighbor!
This is pretty okay for like just going at around head height and just chopping through them, but I don't think that you want to take something like this for horde clearing.
Oh, stop, Gunnar!
I need it more ammo.
Jeez. That was just me sucking. The sights on this are sometimes like, I forget where they are.
I have a gift for you!
You're almost to the consignment yard. Just a little further.
Ammo!
Stop, Gunnar! Right! Flavor! Kill Jinx!
Eat this, ugly! What about that switch?
Close deal!
There's a chance we can find a scripture down here, but
Where do they wander off?
don't see one.
What's his name?
God damn it.
Ammo crate!
got him.
Sight beyond sight.
I'm just gonna pick it up because a bunch of these guys don't use grenades.
I don't want to die here. It would be embarrassing.
Can't see shit.
So, these fragging reinforcements of ours coming, or what?
Reclamation Strike Force Beta 5 is inbound. They will be here.
I'm reloading.
Bet you can't make that shot again.
Oh, it was nothing.
Big news, he's dead.
Cleanse the consignment yard of heretics and signal the support team.
Hostile!
Someone kill that monster!
Shards of hatred, do your thing.
If it's below us, it'll actually like just hit a wall and explode. It can't actually climb up.
Taking the shot!
Yeah.
Get those Skyfire defenses offline. We've only got one shot at this.
Sniper's gone!
Frank Gunner! Yes! Get patched up!
Use it.
Won't be a bother anymore! Ranger!
Shot in one. Kill the boss flavor.
Alright.
Good start. Now activate the landing beacon for your support team.
Alright, alright, alright. So I think I need to have like a more ranged focused team where they can where they will kill a lot more enemies while they're sort of still further away, so I don't have to deal with quite as many when they're in melee. hear a trapper, I think.
What a shame! Get that Corkin dropper!
What's in the Emperor's name is done!
Over by now. Kill the last one.
They're in cover!
Can't see shit.
That's a clean kill!
This will hurt! Play, Aldrin!
Oh, it's a dumb flag, Aldrin! Grenade out!
Point and shoot! The Lord's spoil!
Flag, Aldrin!
That was some distance I got there.
Right, see if we can't put the eye right on. Ignition! Come on! Charging it!
Taking up position. Time for a well-earned rest, I'd say.
Alright.
Comfortable? Means I win the bet.
I will come back, you simpletons!
Can't see shit. Okay. Well, there isn't really any single thing that I really like this gun for that I think that another gun wouldn't do better. It feels like it's definitely in the weaker camp, and I can't figure out what its niche is. Because I don't think it has a niche. I think it's supposed to be an all-rounder. But the Cantrail's a better all-rounder than it. So it's kind of like, eh. Hey, we've got a new version. Maybe we'll get a really good blessing, and we can make a better one than this one. Because I think that's what it would take at this point, is if I could just get a really, really good roll on one or something like that, that might do something. But, like, you need to get sort of multiple consecutive headshots so that you get the crit rate up, so they can get the critical headshots so you can get the instant kill. Which doesn't make any sense, because, like, if you've gotten multiple consecutive headshots and they haven't died, why wouldn't you just use a gun that could kill them in the single headshot? Right? So it runs into that sort of problem, where it's sort of building up tempo so they can do huge damage in that one sort of burst there, but it doesn't make any sense for that to be what you want. It doesn't have anything. I only really save the ones that have like a tier 4 upgrade, like the Glory Hunter or Shattering Impact. I'll throw into the thing so I can get that, but in this case I don't want to get rid of either of them, because this has got actually basically perfect rolls essentially. But like this one, I could potentially get this one chucked into the thing so I could get more out of it. This one's, again, also almost a perfect roll, so. Could try to do something with this thing. But, I have to sort of see there. In any event, though, that is going to be enough for me for today. I think next week I'm going to start playing Amnesia the Bunker, which will be interesting to see how that sort of goes. Yeah, this one, this game, I'm really liking the changes. I wish that there was some slight tweaking to some of the weapons, because I don't necessarily feel like the balance changes benefited all of them equally, and I think the ones that get left out in the current balance patch are actually the weapons that are kind of all-rounders, ones that have kind of a medium fire rate, but also have like medium damage, medium armor piercing, or even no armor piercing. Like, the ones that are really good right now are the weapons that either have very high rapid rate of fire, so that you can take the rending builds, making it so that they chew through enemy armor and then instantly kill them once they've chewed through that, but they do it really, really quickly because they're rapid fire. Or you take the ones that are very high precision, low rate of fire, very high damage, and they instantly kill stuff. So you're running into a situation where those sets of guns are disproportionately benefiting from the types of bonuses that are in your skill tree. And guns like the one I'm using just don't benefit from anything on the skill tree better than one of those other types of guns. In fact, I think it benefits worse from those other types of guns in this case, because there's so much gun sway between critical hit headshots that since you don't kill them in the single one, you need to make sure you get on target for the second shot, but you can't really. So it's kind of that. In any event, though, I hope you found the stream enjoyable, and of course, as always, hope to see you guys all next time.